If you're not good to go, say something. Holy God, I'm tired. Okay.
Holy God, I'm with you there.
I'm good. Yeah, it's one of those days where 11 a.m. is too early, and that's my life. But negotiations.
Past 2 weeks, so if I sound like I have a frog in my mouth.
Nah, you're totally fine. The flu has ravaged Kansas City, but Kingmaker, we're doing it. Spoopy Witch stuff. I'm gonna drink this coffee. Thank y'all for your support and character reflections. Grabbing that D5 unless someone wants to volunteer. I don't have anything smart alecky to say right now because I'm tired.
Let me just get mine out of the way.
Arcturus, Taxman.
Okay, so I'm playing Arcturus, and I'm a what am I? An Inquisitor, and of Abadar. And I think the most pressing thing that I would be reflecting on in this moment is our situation. Namely, we have a witch from Cheliax, which my character having significant ties to Cheliax. I have some thoughts about that. I'm a little concerned because when we asked her if she wasn't a demon worshiper, she was kind of evasive about that question. She denied the worshipping part, but not necessarily the demonic connection at all part. So that's a strike against her in my book. But then she also clearly has left Cheliax, so on the tax level, because obviously our conundrum right now is how do we deal with someone who basically wants to be left alone and that otherwise we all like, at least out of character.
Good, I've done well. I can't please Cato, but I can please Cato's player.
I think I'm at a point where I'm a little irritated with her attitude and her insistence on being separate from civilization, because that obviously is very much at odds with everything that my character embodies, and certainly Abadar. But at the same time, it does feel a little unfair to impose tax upon someone who lives somewhere that we haven't actually developed yet. I'm of two minds about it. I definitely have mixed feelings about her personally, but we'll see how it goes. I think other than that, I mean, that's really since we're literally in the middle of what could be combat, that's kind of where I want my reflection to.
Fair enough. So. Good enough for me. And anybody got any volunteers? Am I rolling a D4? You guys have been so good about this.
I'll go then.
Yes! Look how good
We have the reverse. We have the reverse volunteer system going on right now.
Yeah. Anyone want to not volunteer?
Yeah, everyone was like, I guess I'll go.
I'm fine. Sure. All right, Claire, make it happen.
And then I'm playing Kalira Ashling, and I'm a half-elf barbarian and of the superstitious archetype. And she's a little unnerved about this entire mission, though she's never one to really show that sorts of thing as actual fear. Her tact in this particular scenario is to try to get out of this without actually having to fight the witch, because she does not want to fight the witch. I mean, she will kill a witch if she has to, but she doesn't want to fight one voluntarily. So she's trying to find some ways that we can just all leave without being cursed. That would be great. And go about our business. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Good enough. No curses here, but yes to a hero point. Anyone else? Don't make me break out that D3. I'll do it.
I'll go.
Haha!
Also, I guess okay. I'll do this first. I'm scattered. I'm in a few places right now. All right, Cato Sicarius.
Well, something about him.
Yes, that is his name, and don't wear it out. What else? What else do you need to know? He's level 5 human. God damn it! Everyone keeps interrupting me. Thank you. All right, he is a swashbuckler of the Rosslyn Bravo archetype. He's also a monk and a fighter, master of many styles archetype and weapon master archetypes. Man, the fun of going through that extensively long set of classes has gotten pretty old. So I'm going to jump right into into what he's thinking here. To sort of echo Artoris's words, Cato finds himself in a bit of a conundrum right now. Clearly, he has come to these lands with a purpose, with a destiny to fulfill, and destiny will bring upon itself many oppositions that come in different forms. Not every opposition, not every barrier, is a giant ugly troll that can be easily struck down. Many of the oppositions that come to those who wish to become king are political in nature or civil in nature. The decisions that one makes today will have echoing ramifications for years to come. So, every step leaves a footprint, and every move must be meticulously made. With that said, we have a situation here where we've reached essentially what appears to be an immovable object to our irresistible force in these lands, which is troubling because, as mentioned, I think everyone kind of likes her. From out of character, it's a very endearing character to encounter. So I believe we're all hopeful that some sort of compromise can be made. However, I guess that remains to be seen.
Good enough. And the hero point is yours. And next is slowly typing in 1d2.
I'll go.
All right, there it is.
I am Senya the Black Stag, the last Black Stag, hailing Achilles Barbarian, hailing from the clan of Uplands. I think we're all, I'm also in the same boat as everyone else here. We're kind of, nobody wants to fight this witch. I don't really want to fight her. That she has aided me during the fight of the troll. She has healed me as the troll took a big chunk out of my side. So that is very much appreciated. So having to fight her now is definitely not something that I would relish. I should probably also mention that I am a Geminid invoker, so I summon totems.
You are rapidly becoming one of my favorite barbarian archetypes. Today I'll be the dragon totem. Tomorrow, celestial totem. Super good. Also, I looked over at the Discord and I see Sven I see you are a man of culture as well, Cato. I can't. It's real hard to keep it together right now. But take your hero point, Ionia.
Alright, I am playing Ionia Essel, mostly human occultist. Ionia, I think, is kind of in a similar mindset to the rest of her party. She has definitely appreciated Amalia's help in the previous battle, especially when it came to the healing that she gave out. That said, she's being very obstinate, and, it's not that big of a deal. You just pay your taxes. We all do it. So I guess that's kind of where I'm at there. Outside of that, still a little kind of excited about their recent encounter with Jubilost. Running into a moderately famous author was pretty exciting for Ionia. She's excited to, one, get to the tower that she can't really get her mind off of still, and to get back to town to learn more about their little black-haired gnome friend. So, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
How could we forget Jubilost?
A footnote in Cato's reflection. He doesn't like Parlavash, just so everyone is aware, and doesn't trust that little dude.
What a surprise!
Fair enough. Alrighty, hero points all around. I'm gonna stop looking at the Discord so I can stop seeing that Sven called Cato a man of culture. Go away, Discord. Okay. And the floor is y'all's. We pick up basically essentially from right where we left off. There's still the Roslandic standoff going on outside Amalia's hut, basically.
Amalia, that's her name. All right. Did she introduce herself to us? She did, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, time to go home, guys.
Just turn around. All right, tax party. Here we go.
Nah. All right.
I
Back
assume
in-
you're just going to give voice to what we kind of talked about.
Yeah, I guess.
The squad is all healed, right?
No.
Okay.
Mostly, I think.
Kalira looks at the gaping wound in her side. No.
No, I didn't want any of that hocus pocus healing. All right. What's it, Amelia?
Amalia.
Amalia.
Basically, still just kind of trying to get everybody in line of sight and ready to, like, this is going to go badly. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, her Dwemer cat cub still just sits on, like, Grom's snoot watching.
When I hear Dwemer, I think of, like...
Meanwhile, her dwarf cat.
Yeah, like a mechanical, like, little Dwemer, like, Centurion cat thing. Anyway. Cato looks over at Amalia. She's clearly, in a... looking very defensive, very, ready to act depending on what the situation may bring. You can relax a little bit, my dear. This doesn't have to go badly. As he lifts his hand up in a sort of calming gesture.
Okay. Give me a diplomacy check.
Diplomacy. All right.
Wait. I what is it, guidance? Can I toss one his way?
Yeah, you can. 26. All right, let me grab your character sheet. I will. For some of you who, depending on when I put this out, you may or may not know, we're doing another Kingmaker group, and we're gonna do it Necromancer flavored. And to save time on my prepping, I've just mustering everyone in the same group. So now I have many a folder. Just like
You're doing an evil Kingmaker group?
No, they're gonna fight the evil. We're gonna replace, like, the Stag Lord will be replaced with, like, a Necromancer, and the overarching plot will be replaced a little different, but, like, it'll be in the Stolen Lands.
I thought they were necromancers. I was gonna be like, that's so cool.
I know, I thought that's what they were doing at first too, but they changed their minds. I'm sad about it. Okie dokie, I have that many hits. I wanted to see all the skeletons, because this is an AP for it. You gotta build a kingdom? Sure, get a free labor.
Free
force.
labor.
All day. Okay, yeah, Amalia relaxes a little. Her eyes run across the other four of you and Minoru and Grom. She stops at Kalira and just like, do you need... Fine, okay. Achilles, hush, little one. Her Dwemer cat's very angry, and so is Perlavash. She makes her way over to Kalira. As she does so, she...
Kalira steps back.
Ionia will kind of step forward and put her hand up and be like, don't even bother, she won't let you.
But how badly hurt is Kalira?
She got like 2/3 health.
But that's going to get infected.
Yeah. You just gotta
Infected,
let her
it's not
make her
gonna
own
get-
mistakes.
It's not gonna get affected. Don't. I've never been I've been covered in scratches worse than this. I've never gotten infected.
I'm not sure
Infection
you've
before.
been scratched by anything much worse than she points at the carcass of the troll, which the plants are still grabbing onto. As if on cue it twitches, and its dominant hand with enormous, about the size of Kalira's, like, forearm claws, whip a little bit.
I don't
But
know.
if you insist.
Have you ever seen what lies at the bottom of an alley in Rostov?
I have not.
may not be as big, but I guarantee you they're 3 times as dirty.
That's probably fine. Okay, sure. She makes her way over to the other side of the gate line here.
Oh no, we just let her get behind her defenses.
To be clear, maybe we should start over. My name is Amalia. I'm from very far away, and I've come from very far away to be somewhere alone. And I don't really have any interest in anyone else showing up telling me what to do, who gets my money, how everything is run around me. When you show up at my door, and before anything else, and she puffs her chest out and like throws her shoulders back to try to make herself a little like bigger and drops her voice. She's like, "This is my land." It's gonna. You just sound like the Hell Knights. That's all. If all of you want to come in, we can discuss this further. Standing out here probably isn't the best idea. I imagine our friend, and as if on cue again, the body twitches a little, wasn't the only one in his raiding party. Would you like to come into my house?
I think that would be a wonderful idea.
And without waiting to see if anyone does anything, she turns and begins walking that direction. Her Dwemer cat just kind of like 1-2 hop off Grom and then appears right next to her.
What kind of check would it be to like try to discern if the traps are active or not?
Spellcraft, detect magic, things like that.
I'm also going to sense motive on her. See if anything feels fishy about this invitation to come in.
Okay. Anyone else have any dice they want to throw at the table?
Get a spell check. 1 second.
I think I already used my tireless logic for the day last session.
Oof.
Man, y'all are super good. Okay. Cato,
We just really like her. We trust her.
Cato, she seems like you watched her throw a lightning bolt into the chest of a troll, and had that hit any of you, you'd probably be a like smoldering pile of nothing on the ground right now. If she wanted to do something untoward to you, she'd probably out with it, especially because there was a point where like, okay, if you're not going to give me a choice, let's just get this over with, start fighting each other. From Arcturus and Iona, the spellcraft check itself, as you look around, you can kind of see the light reflecting as it hits something magic. Man, my cat is so happy to see me today. What it is, you're not exactly sure, but if either of you can cast like detect magic or something, you'd be able to get it pretty quickly, assuming it's not like a symbol of something where you hit it with detect magic and then exactly. As long as it's not a mine.
Let's get in there.
Okay, so after 3 rounds of concentrating, it's a very simple aura. She's put an alarm spell on the gate itself. It will probably ping in her mind if someone crosses the threshold, but that's it.
And -5.
I didn't mean to roll that.
Arcturus is so surprised by things that he just eats it.
Trips over the gate.
Whoop! Man, I think that's the lowest roll I've ever seen in my whole life. Jesus.
That was a nat 1 with a -5 or -6 modifier. Wonderful.
Nice. But yeah,
I want to do the Cato thing where I like alley-oop over the fence.
His
Impales
robes
himself
get-
on the fence.
His robes get caught on the palisade and he just trips over.
All right. Well, then Cato will, not to keep a lady waiting.
yeah, and as Cato crosses the threshold, you see she kind of twitches a little bit, as if like there was suddenly a really loud noise that she was kind of expecting, but kind of not. And as all of you move into her house, if y'all can make quick perception checks.
Lovely.
Man.
That's why I love it when they're 5 of us making this roll. Because
Yeah.
someone's going to nail it.
And it's Arcturus. It's the wisdom-based caster. So y'all move in, and the house is kind of cluttered. Her belongings of all shapes and sizes are laying around all over the place. All of you notice in the threshold of the door the symbol carved in, to grab a quick descriptor of it, I want to say it's a this, but that's boring. It is a leaf of like an oak tree with 2 eyes, like as if it were a face on it. Clearly some kind of holy symbol. You're not exactly sure what without like religion checks or things. I suppose it would be said...
There it is.
Alright, Achilles, you need to go lay down. Anger boy. Ionia can very easily recognize a symbol of the green faith. Not necessarily of like a religion, but more of a philosophy. Usually it's the things that like druids practice, the notion that all life was like made here and will reincarnate here, and there is a spirit within every tree and rock and so on and so
Basically,
forth.
Pathfinder paganism.
Yeah, more or less. Senia probably gets it too, honestly. And as you guys make your way in, she sits down in the corner of her cottage, I guess, shall we say. Basically, just like a one-room affair. She has a hexagonal-shaped gray table in which several glowing bluish runes and symbols kind of just like they put off a very, very faint amount of light. That part of the cottage is pretty clean. There's nothing really close to that table that's not in boxes or hanging on the wall or something like that. As she sits down, she looks over at a tea kettle that is sitting like in her hearth, and she stares at it for a little too long, and the fire up and it starts to heat up a little bit.
Yeah. Man, I wish I had, out of character, I wish I could do like a, I wish I could make magical tea right now. Like just look at my tea kettle and be like, you're boiling now.
Facts. And she turns to all of you and just, okay, so
Down.
what is it that you've come here to do? Maybe we should start with that.
Yeah. So Cato takes a step forward, clearly trying to give an impression of just like calm, relaxed, no tension, no displays of hostility at all, and says, "Of course, let's start again. You'll have to forgive the abruptness of me and my companions earlier. The only people that we've run into out here, in the past year have been, bandits, highwaymen, people of, people who would sooner slit your throat than have a conversation with you. So,
She nods.
with that said, you're clearly not of that variety of folks. So I think we can. I think we can find a compromise that will be mutually beneficial. I will tell you why we are here. If you are not already aware, we are the Reclaimers. We hail from the north, from the kingdom of Brevoy. We have been tasked with settling these lands, to turn them into an independent kingdom, to run out all of the banditry, all of the barbarians who currently keep this land uncivilized, and to develop a glorious and just kingdom in these lands. Clearly, you have your reasons for separating yourself with society. Whatever they may be, they are your reasons, and I will not pry. However, where we stand now is at a bit of an impasse. For society is coming to the stolen lands. There is There is no avoiding it. You may fight against it, you may delay it as best as you can, but eventually it will be here, and that is something that we're going to have to address.
She takes in the 5 of you. And society is already here, or does the person traveling with the black stag not realize this? Just because they don't dress like you, look like you, walk like you, talk like you, that doesn't mean it's not society, and it's already here.
Oh boy, one of these.
Cato smiles and nods. From a certain point of view, I suppose, yes. But I think you know what I am implying. I think you know that I speak of the development of a grand kingdom, of a grand civilization.
But what's so grand about it?
It will rival the great kingdoms of the world.
She kind of she spins her finger in a circular motion as like...
Industry. Trade. A unified people.
I'm just like nodding my head as he says every one of these things.
Decent place to get a drink.
I don't nod my head at that one.
Dice.
You may call this a civilization of sorts. It is, but is it unified? Do the barbarians to the west? There we go. Have any cares for what goes on here in the east? Are there any laws that bind all the people here together under the same rules, under the same obligations? While yes, you may say that there's a semblance of society out here, and I will not disagree with that. What we seek to bring is much greater. A unified land, a unified people, where all can feel welcome and safe, protected by the laws, and protected by those within our kingdom who would see justice done. No more fearing that bandits would come by and harass you for protection money, or take your goods under threat of violence or death. Safety on the roads, so that caravans do not have to worry about being, overtaken. We don't have to worry about trolls, ambushing you while you seek to hunt or to gather in the wilderness. These are all the things we seek to bring. Not to mention, the advantages that come with a great society. As I mentioned, trade, the ability to benefit from roads, from the various advantages of industry that come with a large and prosperous civilization. These are all the things that we seek to bring here to the Stolen Lands.
Okay, put a diplomacy check on the end of it.
Bow, bow, bow. Pow!
Okay, fair enough. You're saying all the things you're saying. You get to the united and safe and those kind of bits, and she nods. And how exactly is it that you're going to unite everyone here, though? She looks out to the west. There are several. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. Looks over at Cinia. I'm really sorry. But the Tiger Lords aren't going to listen. There are other tribes that won't listen. There are some that just, much like myself, want to be left alone or march to the beat of their own drum. What do you do about them?
All due respect, the Tiger Lords are part of the issue in these lands. They're a plague here.
My tribe wanted to be left alone. And look what happened.
It's
The
unfortunate.
Tiger Lords did not respect that. I am the last Black Stag.
No, you're not.
What?
Plot
character.
twist. He opens, you know, a little baby Yoda, like holder, and there's like a little black stag baby in there.
A little tiny, sucks all the light as if someone deep or darkest it deer makes its way in. Hello, I'm the demon deer.
What do you mean I'm not the last one? I saw my people slaughtered.
And most of you are dead, yes. I'll take it you haven't been... She looks... Actually, you can... Yeah, you can see the tower from here. I'll take it you haven't been to the shores of the Candlemere yet.
No.
We were actually headed in that direction when we stumbled across your abode.
It's probably good you found me first, the way you showed up on my doorstep. Okay, do you want the long version or the short version?
The long version.
So it was around...
Clear eyes.
Ionia's got a big grin when she says long version.
Long version. And that's it, like, has kind of like that bouncing kind of sit down on the chair kind of.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so... All of you know what a Daruxi is, yes? Ever seen one before? Any dealings with them?
Yeah.
We ran into one that was part of, well, I was going to say Kessel's crew, but I guess it would have been the Stag Lord's crew. But
Did we
Kessel's-
actually see him, or did we just track him?
We
Well,
killed them.
We killed one.
Yeah.
It was our encounter
right
at
the very
Oleg.
beginning. Right. So in a way, we've kind of encountered two.
She begins going real hard about, like, all of the advanced... Oh, we saw one once, yeah. No, okay, so Uruxi they've lived in this part of the world and other parts of the world as well since well before Earthfall. They haven't really evolved because they haven't needed to, and so on and so forth. Several tribes, this was end of last summer, they all banded together under one of their leaders. They've become one tribe now. I'm sorry, the language escapes me. I don't want to mispronounce something. But they went after they went after the Tiger Lords. They didn't do as well as you'd hope. There were dozens of tribes before, now there's one, and they've fallen back to the Candlemere to lick their wounds, basically. But, that said, word got out that this was going to happen, that someone was going to try to oppose the Tiger Lords, and I believe he was... Oh, I think he was the Elder's son. She begins describing a... make a knowledge the planes check as I flavor text. The man is about 7 feet tall. She sticks her hands up. I don't remember exactly how many points on the antlers. Dark black skin. I believe that's the tribe was named after. It sounds, Ionia, like she's describing an Azamar, a humanoid with, like, direct celestial mingling in their blood. In this case, a stag archon. Literally one of Erastil's servants. At some point, mixed with the bloodline and made this child. I guess
nobody can keep it in their pants in this.
They really can't. No, they can't. You gotta make them babies.
That's not just this universe. It's real life too. It's everywhere.
Yep.
Gotta repopulate.
something natural instinct. Something.
Biology. Yeah.
Circle of life. But I suppose he probably had some. Maybe they were black stags. Maybe they were other tribes in his band, and they went with the Uruxi Confederation. He's still alive. He and his mastodon sometimes make their way around here. I believe he's still staying with the Uruxi. And Senia doesn't necessarily have to roll anything for this one. Senia would know that the Black Stags were named after the Elder's son, who was basically just found in the woods one day, assumed to be immaculately conceived, assumed to be a direct blessing from Erastil, which was only further solidified as this kid grew up and proved to be one of the best shots anyone in the tribe had ever seen. And I'll put his name in chat. I don't have the doc open right now because it would drag my computer down to keep it open. But
So the Black Stags had a Jesus.
more or less. And his name was Divicus.
Oh, Divicus.
So, I would definitely know what she's talking about, right?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe not necessarily that he's still alive, but he was champion of the tribe.
Divicos is alive?
She nods.
Straight fangirling.
We must find him. I must talk to him. Do you know where he spends his time?
Like I said, I assume he's still with the Aruxi. Nowhere else to go.
Okay. So, the Tiger Lords are our fierce enemy. We have dealt with their kind in the past. The Stag Lord who oppressed this entire area was unassailable by any who attempted, to the point where all the criminal elements in the area flocked under his banner, because of their fear of him.
Yeah, I suppose I should have got to that at some point. She begins cleaning the dirt from her nails, gets a little could have maybe dealt with that. Unfortunately for, I suppose, the stolen lands at large, when people show up at your house and say that they're your rulers and they're here to collect a portion of taxes, and you look at them and you say, well, my wards are in place, don't cross that line, usually that will scare people away. She kind of smiles a little bit. But you were saying?
Yes. So where were you going with this whole Tiger Lords thing? You think they're an unassailable threat?
Not necessarily.
I think you give them too much credit.
I don't think you give them enough credit.
I have never met any foe that I could not topple.
Suppose I could take you there now if you wanted. I don't know exactly where they're camping, but I should have. We land somewhere in the Glenavon Uplands. I fire some magic up in the air, teleport away. I think they'll find you.
I think I sense a TPK coming on.
Cal step in. That will be enough, Fob. We all get that you're very great, but you need to. What's the saying?
Right. Back to the matter at hand.
Calm down.
Right. Sorry. When I hear tales of great adversaries, it gets my blood running, my blood pumping. I was born for the arenas, for the thrill of battle. So sometimes hard to.
We'll
help
excuse
myself.
our young boy here, other witch.
Other witch.
Cato.
Who's the first? She begins looking at the rest of you. Other witch. Who is? She, as this is happening, she turns down, looks at Minoru, and begins it sounds like she's whispering something back. Mostly y'all probably just hear a noise. Minoru looks up and barks. Oh, I'm sorry. She looks over at Ionia. I didn't realize she called you a witch that much. Oh.
Oh, all the time. You get used to it.
She nods.
Did you just speak with my dog?
Minoru says he's hungry.
Oh. I'll get some of the, we probably have venison or something. I'll get some out and start feeding him and scruffing his fur. Oh, I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. It's been a busy day.
It has indeed, hasn't it, Minoru? And this whole time the Dwemer cat is on the back of Amalia's chair, leaning head and like front legs over her shoulder and like sphinxing, watching down at this great beast that is wolfing down the venison. That's how uncivilized. Amalia, why do you treat with these? Because he's cute is why. Go. And like she goes to like shoo her cat, and instead of the cat just jumping down from the chair, the cat like mini teleports to the other side of the cottage.
Okay, Amalia. Because I don't want to overstay our welcome here, you've been a gracious host. Here's what I propose. You seem highly skeptical of everything that I've said up until this point, and I can understand that. I will make it clear that we are not here at your doorstep seeking to collect tax money. That was certainly not our intention, so don't worry about that bit. However, more just to inform you that of our presence, that we are here, and to see what that would mean in the future. As our borders are begin to expand. Currently, you do not reside within what we would consider the lands that we have settled. So, until the such expansion happens that your home here and the lands that you reside come into conflict with ours, we do not need to come to an immediate agreement at this moment. In fact, I'm willing to give you an opportunity to see what our civilization can bring before you make your ultimate decision. As a favor for your help against the troll, and for healing my companions, and being such a gracious host, and providing us with the information that you provided us today, I hereby make a promise to you that we will cease any expansion in the direction of your home and your property, at minimum until the following year. This will give you an opportunity to live as you wish here, to think on what we have discussed today, but also to see the growth of the civilization that you will undoubtedly come in contact with. But yes, my promise to you is that we will not make any moves in this direction until at most, or at earliest, until spring of next year.
She nods. I suppose that's not the worst. Certainly, I don't plan on moving. I happen to enjoy my particular patch of swamp, and I don't want to pay taxes to anyone I don't agree with. That said, if you are able to pull off the things that you can do, and you don't have to do it by the sword, sure. And as she's talking, she pulls out a scroll.
But my lady, my sword is my most potent tool.
Oh my god.
Xenia kind of rolls her eyes and walks out the cottage.
The cat.
Yoni will kind of elbow Cato and be like, Cal is right there.
And the cat dim doors up onto the table and just, really? And then dim doors away. Amalia is still unfurling the scroll and just, your words are wonderful, but if it pleased everyone here, I'd like to make them a little more binding. I'm all alone out here. I need to protect myself after all. The sarcasm drips from her voice.
Well, what did you have in mind?
Oh, just she passes the scroll over. Something that will bind you to what you've said.
It's a trap.
It's got runes on it.
Very, very nice. Now she wants you to offer you her soul.
Not quite so much. If I wanted
offer your soul to her.
If I wanted the fop's soul, I would simply take it.
She's already taken my heart.
She just kind of blinks and raises her eyebrows and snaps her fingers and a little bit of like... Basically, it's just static electricity with amplified magic to make it like run up and down her fingers a little bit. That's enough of that.
He takes a look at... He snickers. No one has any sense of humor these days. And he picks up the scroll and... What am I looking at?
Basically, as you like read the scroll, everything you said about not expanding this direction until spring is written on the scroll, but the words kind of like shimmer and move around magically.
Ooh.
You're not really going to sign that, are you? I mean, clearly it's going to do something to you.
You are so superstitious, Kalira.
You are far too trusting.
She's not wrong. It will definitely do something to you, but only if you break your word.
Oh. So I scope it. Wait, when you say the words are moving all over, like they're... So...
They are magical flavor text. They are not a contract that may not be something you don't understand.
Gotcha.
No, no, like, hidden lines, no illusory script that we can't see.
Not without like a spellcraft check or a...
I gesture Arcturus over as he is... Or...
Let me get my lawyer to look.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it a spellcraft check?
Yeah.
Breaking the fourth wall over here.
Are we, though?
Oh, come on. I kind of want to hero point that, because I never use my hero points for anything.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Alright, I'm going to do it.
The Palp got him.
Yeah.
And that was exactly the DC. Okay, so some casters would call this spell Quest. Some would call it Geese. In either case, it will... If Cato allows Amalia to cast this on Cato, it will place basically a curse on him.
Oh, nice.
Guess that I was lying.
I convey all of that to Dell.
Guess that was crazy.
It's not necessarily like she couldn't use this spell to like compel you to do something horrible or out of character, but it would bind you to your word in such a way that if you didn't, like, if Cato decides to expand the kingdom south, his body would have effects. It would hit him basically everywhere until he stopped.
For a term of a year, right? That's what we agreed to.
Yeah, that's what I want to make sure. That's why I'm handing this to Arcturus to review. Like, make sure that this is...
Basically, it's...
This could be a trick to keep us away forever, essentially indefinitely, if depending on how it's worded.
No, there's
a year according to the usual solar customs.
A year by the same calendar, yeah.
Okay.
He's like, well, actually, my people measure time differently. A year is the equivalent of like 15 of your years. Yeah.
Ha ha ha, nerd. No. I don't use Eridan's calendar. I use the solar calendar. We'll be running till the next equinox.
Okay. I mean, generally speaking, since I'm not one to break my word ever, I would be inclined to say that there's no danger here.
My concern is that this is obviously signing this, which would be like a gesture of good faith and that you can trust us, but it almost feels a bit of a slight to impose such a thing to be signed.
Where's the reciprocity here? I mean, what?
Yeah.
You're gonna have him sign over his word, but what do we have from you? What assurances do we have of you? Are you going to sign one of these?
Would you like me to?
I don't know how to make one.
Oh, I could teach you. Would you like to learn witchcraft, my friend? And she gets
Get away from me.
How about in exchange for signing this, You fix his sword.
Let me see it.
Or her sword.
Let me
Sorry.
bring me the weapon.
Constantly misgendering her. Alright. Killer takes her sword out.
And if you'll remind
His-
me, it is a...
Her sword isn't quite as fantastic as mine, but
No, this is obviously much more fantastic. And her eyes go real wide as she picks it up and begins, like, with all the skill of a blacksmith, eyeing the... Or not even a blacksmith, all the skill of, like, a treasurer or a jewel crafter looking at a very, very fancy bit of their craft, begins flipping it over. Remind me, it's a +2 Fey Bane
Yeah.
for a total of +3. Dope. Yeah, it wouldn't be cheap, but I could fix it. And this isn't
No,
something I
I'm
can... Reciprocity aside, the ingredients, the bits of magical things, the time invested on myself to work on this, it's not...
I mean, you have a year.
She just kind of hangs and continues, like, talking about, no, this will be too much, and spins the sword and looks at it more. Certainly I could fix it, though.
Cato continues to scan the document, looking for any funny business. How do you sign something like this? I don't... Do we have pens in this era?
Blood.
You don't. I cast the spell.
Oh, I just agree to let you cast the spell.
She nods. Technically speaking, I could cast this on an unwilling target, but that would be wrong of me.
Oh.
Say if I didn't want to kill the troll, but wanted him to just never come here again. But it takes a little bit of time. Usually you have to restrain them. Frankly, Hargulka needs to be sent a message. You understand.
I'm sorry, who?
Their king, I suppose, is what he's calling himself.
The Troll King?
She nods. It's
Oh,
been
where
I get that
is
name all the time.
Hargulka, I believe. Probably means something like big, important person in Jotun. I am unsure. But it happened around the same time the Aruxi attacked the Tiger Lords. The trolls usually will live in family units, tribal units. They don't band together unless they need to respond to some kind of bigger threat or they're getting ready to go to war. I assume that's what happened.
And who did they attack?
The trolls, so far, just travelers. They come here once in a while and then they don't leave.
Have you ever encountered this chieftain among them,
She shakes her
personally?
I like how he downgraded him to chieftain.
head. Chieftain, king, baron, head honcho, boss.
Definitely not calling the head of a bunch of trolls like going around a king. Like, let's be honest, that it's a chieftain. It's a
There it is.
at best it's
There
a chieftain.
it
If you
is.
could even call them like a tribe. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty rough. Alright.
Yeah, Amalia's like, no, he's just as much of a king as you are. They might smell worse, but
Hmm.
circumstances of birth aside,
You won't. You don't have any attachment to these trolls, do you?
not these in particular. The thing about trolls, you see, with the regeneration, their metabolism is a constant, never-ending thing. You can't really make friends with a troll unless you are constantly feeding them. So most of my dealings with the tribes in the region have been rather short. In any case, she sets down Death to Alfei. 9,000 gold pieces, about, I suppose a month's worth of work. And yes, I could fix this.
9,000 gold.
It's a lot of money.
Got that money on hand there, Clara? Just toss her a bag of 9K.
I don't keep all my money with me. 1.
2.1 build
Fool.
points.
2. This isn't even my sword.
What?
No, it's not my sword.
All
I'm
right.
wielding it, but it doesn't belong to me.
Then who does it belong to? Because this is...
That one, the Wilder.
Oh, right, because...
Right.
That's technically your sword, because you...
Because I slayed him.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how to wield swords.
Don't you? She picks it up herself
Pretty-
and...
Well,
Not
do
my
know how to wield a
personal
sword.
weapon of choice. And I,
You could, but you have no well, you have proficiency, but you have no, like... None of your combat feats will help you with swords, yeah.
In that case, you might as well get rid of it. If this one doesn't want this weapon and this one doesn't think she can use it, you could sell this to a museum in Agorian and probably get, God, it's at least 30,000 gold. Assuming it wasn't, and she gestures at the rusted, broken piece of metal that lays on her, on her table.
Never said I didn't want it.
Oh, you
It's
definitely
good
want it.
swords. It's the sword of a warrior who slay many fae. Who wouldn't want a sword like that?
Especially out here. She rolls her eyes.
All right, we are getting sidetracked. Thank you for the quote. We'll I've made note of that. We'll get back to you. So hang tight in regards to that. As far as this thing goes, the matter of this, and he looks down at the scroll. Arcturus, you looked it over. You have no qualms with what is listed here.
I look at her for a moment. and then
Detect evil.
Right. And then I say, it seems to reflect the agreement that we made.
Very
nods.
well. Until next spring, then.
And with
We
that,
will not encroach upon in this direction by penalty of whatever this spell would inflict.
she nods, takes the scroll, begins incanting. It takes about, for some reason, magic probably doesn't make a lot of sense to Cato. So the casting of this spell takes 10 minutes, but it's basically just reading the terms of the contract, and then here are some magic words and the terms of the contract, and then she puts her hand on your forehead, and you kind of feel the sensation is not unlike something warm pushed into your forehead, and not unlike your body being really stiff for just a split second. All right, good enough for me.
And just for clarification, this prevents us from expanding and developing this direction, not from...
We can hang out here.
Yeah, you guys
We're
can
not-
come here. It prevents the kingdom cannot expand south in this direction, basically,
Gotcha.
Which yeah.
for a year.
Okie day. Well,
Did you...
Yep.
yep. So Cato shakes his head. Whoa, that was new.
I assure you, you'll be fine. Just keep your word.
I have never lied to a lady.
This is
This is
wholesome.
false. This
feel
is
like
false.
that right there was a lie.
That was incredible. You lied right to her face. All right, let's leave before she remembers what sort of spells elves' ears are good for. Clear.
Do you mean the leaves, or do you mean your actual... Also, I really can fix that. She looks at your wounds. You don't have to go out there hurt if you don't want to.
I'm fine. I don't need the help of a witch.
All right, suit yourself, I
I
guess.
think
Any magic?
You
I
realize
think
it
you
will
like-
take a lot of magic to fix your sword, right? And also, this sword is incredibly magic. I'm sorry, you're just kind of contradicting yourself.
There's a difference between magic that's controlled by some magic user like yourself. At least I know this sword won't, I don't know, devour me.
Do you, though? Do you? There are plenty of cursed weapons out in the wide history of the world, some of which can even take over the minds of their wielders, and, sometimes they like to be buried alongside their former thralls, shall we say?
Well, until this sword proves itself to be as evil and vile as all that, I'll continue to wield it. And then when it does, then I am going to break it over my knee. It's fine.
Please don't break that over your... Civilization to these lands, indeed, Cato.
It'd be bent. I would bend it. I mean, it's a pretty well-made sword, so...
Probably hack off your own leg. On that note, before you leave, you seem at least trustworthy enough that I can... Well, my family comes from a long line of artificers, and I've carried that with me. It will still set you back money, of course. Again, the reagents aren't cheap. My time is not cheap. But if you need someone to make you something, certainly I could do it.
Make, such as what can you make?
Enchant your weapons. She lifts up her hair, and there's a headband is wrapped around her forehead with the symbol over her door is also like on the front of her headband. This helps me think a little more clearly. The belt that she's wearing has a similar tag on it. This regulates my circulatory system, keeps my reflexes running. Magic items of all shapes and sizes. I could also enchant that weapon of yours.
Geldern has entered chat.
Hi, Robin.
Or into game. Very good.
And Robin has immediately left. Again, of course, it's not cheap, but it's cheaper than buying things.
Cato nods. Well, thank you very much. We will definitely keep that in mind.
She nods.
As for now, I think we have overstayed our welcome and been imposing upon you long enough, so farewell, my lady.
Amalia will do, but short. And she turns, and her Dwemer cat, just like as soon as the door shuts, the window is open enough that y'all can hear it just cackle uncontrollably, rolling around on the ground, laughing. I know. And back to the world map we go.
Alright, so we managed to...
Sell your soul.
Oh, you got cursed.
I got cursed, but hey, you
I mean, my character doesn't know any better, but I feel like I know that we did something.
very...
My character does, and she thinks you're a complete idiot. That's fine. It's not a big downgrade from how she felt about you before. So.
You've gone from medium idiot to big idiot.
The major idiot.
Yeah.
In character, I'm confident we didn't agree to anything that we didn't agree
Same.
to. We were going to keep our word either way, so we're fine.
In character, Esker's just a paralegal.
So as we leave and we're like well beyond earshot of the house, like it's not even like within sight anymore since we've gone so far.
Maybe I should have spell checked while she was casting that on you to make sure that she was just
not doing anything else. Yeah, but
She slipped you another one.
I'm sure it's fine.
She's like listening in on us right now.
I turn to Ionia and I say, "You're very well versed in this type of stuff. Is there any way to remove this curse?"
That would be behind a spellcraft check. Yes, but it wouldn't be easy. Typical.
I say no.
Well, there you go.
Actually, or...
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm just saying in case she tries to in case we run into, in case there's some, I don't know, she did manage to squeak in some kind of some small text or something, or turns out that her interpretation of what expand this direction means slightly different from ours. Like, in case there's any funny business, is there a way, like, that we
Oh, I
can
know one way to break the curse.
kill the witch?
Yeah, things are much easier to deal with when you can actually cut them in half. Unlike magic, people are a lot more substantial. So, if there's a problem, we'll solve it. I mean, with or without you, I suppose.
Or you just keep your word.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
I don't think it'll be an issue.
That's not the point. It's about having contingencies. If you just trust everyone, despite what you believe to be their best intentions, then you leave yourself open to be betrayed. And although I trust the witch, or Amalia.
You're so bad at this.
I thought he was doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I even made a game for you to remember it. Amalia, as in immolation, as in burn the witch.
That doesn't even.
Yeah. Anyway, I trust Amalia as far as we can trust someone we literally just met, but we literally just met her. We don't know what her true intentions are. She may be using this 1 year to plan some sort of resistance against us when the time comes. A year from now gives her a lot of time to prepare.
Sorry you're concerned, but there's no way to remove the curse.
I don't believe. Okay, can I?
Cato can try a spellcraft check if Cato would like.
I'm gonna need a.
Is this a private
I'm gonna need a
conversation
blood
with
check on
Ionia, or
that.
can I hear it?
Yeah, Dell has a point. Ionia would know if Ionia would like to bluff and Cato would like to sense motive.
That bluff is real bad.
Wow.
I can't imagine his sense motive is much better. Oh,
He sense motives all the time.
that's fair. So we're looking at limited wish, remove, curse, spells on that order, and those spells are much bigger than your standard, like, dispel magic, things like that. Like, these are the spells that Jod will give you free casting, but he won't give you free casting for these, because these require, like, thousands of gold worth of expensive material components to break this.
Is Jod powerful enough to cast these types of spells?
He could certainly try. He's not powerful enough. If he was powerful enough to wish, but he got caught by some bandits, I'd be concerned. He could maybe pull off like a break enchantment or something along those lines, maybe.
Okay. That's cool. We're not looking to lift the curse. I'm just saying, should we run into a situation where we got more than we bargained for, we're not just like stuck.
There are outs. They are expensive, and even then, like, it won't. Technically, the only person who agreed to anything was Cato. It wouldn't stop, like, the barbarians from storming her cottage. It wouldn't stop anything like that.
True, I just might not survive the ordeal.
Also that.
Depending on if she perceives the barbarians storming her way as an act of, settling in that direction.
Well, you
you
heard
define
her
it,
cast a
settling.
spell.
Right, you're going there to clear her, like... What about, like, what's in your brain? You're like, okay, we're gonna go down to the witch's place, clear her out so that we can...
No.
Put
Just
people...
kill her. Just kill her. This is a murder.
It's a murder. All right, as long as you have that as long as you have that clearly in your head that you're going down there to murder and not for, like...
Progressing the kingdom?
Progressing the kingdom.
Yeah, no problem.
Clara's just got the hate is flowing through her, and that's all.
All right, fair enough. The witch. I kind of wish we just made it. We need bridges. I think we missed an opportunity.
We have a bridge.
I know. Could have had another.
To my friend
What do
New
you
York.
think she was going to make you a bridge? What?
No, we were gonna
Build
build a bridge out of her.
Catch up on your money, Python.
Okay. Damn it.
Witches are made of wood. You
Yeah.
can build bridges out of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Onward and upward.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so as I see the path, we want to go boom, boom, boom,
That is correct.
then boom.
Then we need to quickly get back so that we can do our kingdom phase and settle this tile right here.
Of course, yes.
Don't forget tax day.
Hey, don't forget your tax holidays.
So dumb.
It makes sense for Abadar, though.
Oh,
Of course
it does.
they would.
No, it
yeah.
100% makes sense. No.
Already.
It does. I'm just imagining how tax day went off in the slums of Restov.
Come, commoners, pay your taxes. It's a glorious day, and no one's happy.
Probably a lot of Abadarians got their tail beat.
I can believe it. Yeah. Okay, so as y'all make your way into the Gnarl Marches, survival checks from folks who can make them. Also, we can mark this hex cleared.
As
Well,
here,
cleared. We have explored it. We know what's there. I don't want to immediately turn into Skyrim. Just cleared. Everything's dead here. You've got all the loot. Move on.
God, these low rolls are killing me, man.
So-
At the system.
that witch had a very if she does decide to cross us, I would definitely take that belt that she was wearing.
It's a nice belt.
Look at this guy, man. He's already.
Picking up her loot right after.
She was as soon as she said, she's like, this improves my circulation and enhances my reflexes. I was like, I want.
This a Cato. Is this a
Ooh.
Cato belt?
There are other ways I can get her belt off,
Okay, nerd.
Oh my.
None that you're skilled at, clearly.
The cat
Oh.
shows up,
She
looks
gives you
at
the
you.
hard deny.
In any case, as you all make your way towards the west, you do come upon more of the same Mastodon tracks. And as you get to where the area becomes more wooded, there are several places where trees have just been flat bowled over. And judging by the tracks, presumably this was because a Mastodon moved past them and the trees were not powerful enough to stop it.
And real quick, she said the Mastodon belonged to the Black Stag.
Yeah. Or rather, a Mastodon.
Well, right. But we've only been seeing the one set of Mastodon tracks.
Right. Yeah.
And they're otherwise herd animals, so it's fair to assume we know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, you got me. That's a fair assumption.
Got him.
Got him! They appear pretty fresh. If you wanted to follow this thing, you could probably catch up to it.
Senya, are you ready?
Why don't you let your dog
Yeah,
sniff
let's
it
go.
out?
I'm itching to beat my tribe's Jesus.
Why don't you let your dog sniff it out? It's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I mean, does he need to? They're pretty clear, right?
Yeah, the
They
tracks
huge
aren't small.
tracks.
They are,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's pick up our pace.
Okay. And so you do...
Why are we doing that?
Why?
Okay.
Because-
So are we tracking down Black Stag Jesus right now?
Why?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
why? Because Senya thought that her whole tribe had been demolished, and we just learned that one of them, probably the most important one, is still alive. You don't think that's worth looking into?
I mean, I don't really know Senya very well, so
Yeah,
not
Senya's
really.
Senya's got to be a little convincing here why we should be doing this.
Well, if you guys want to go off somewhere else, I'm tracking.
That's good.
I'm tracking down.
Senya, why should we do
My-
this?
my
Senya's
people.
gone.
I'm with you, Senya.
Arcturus is all about that tower and very little. He's just like, and
I
tax
can
day's
see it in
coming."
the distance,
Yeah.
and we're gonna follow these tracks instead.
He's like, tax
All
day's
I'm
coming.
saying is- I've lost members of my family, and if I thought that there was even a slight chance that I could see them again, I would not want to be distracted with anything else. So,
I mean,
let's go,
there's
Senya.
family and there's tribe.
It's the same thing.
I thought I
I
was
lost
the
people
only
in the
survivor.
town that I lived in. I wouldn't feel.
I don't think that's the same
What if
thing
you
as
lost-
a tribe.
What if you lost every member of your family, and then you found,
My
or you
town.
thought you lost every? Well, in this case, your town is almost like more like.
Yeah,
an
so
extended
okay, so
family.
my family lives in this town, as do other families. And then I find out a member of one of the other families of this town, not my family, survived.
I think it
You're
would
being
be.
very rude right now,
I think it would be.
Arcane.
I think blood priest would be closer to like one of your fellow blood priests that you learned your occult magic from alongside had gone missing. You would probably want to find him, I'm sure.
One of these days, I'm gonna cast silence on you.
You did cast silence on me before.
Gonna do it again.
We thought it would
Out
stop
of
bats,
combat.
but all it did was just make the party quiet.
You're welcome to try.
Okay,
See,
so
you
Senya,
silence him with magic, he'll probably try to silence you by removing your head.
with death, Senya and Ionia are tracking the Mastodon. The three remaining, what do?
Well, I'm not gonna. If they're going, I'm like, oh, fine. Very well. I will assist you in finding this lost tribe's Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus isn't in this IP. Can we not?
All right, fine. I will. I will. Diviticus.
Okay, this is
Close enough.
really
Divicos.
good enough. It takes you guys about 30 minutes to eventually. You probably hear it before you see it. The sounds of a tree snapping and like a large herd animal grazing, and then you turn the corner and an enormous shaggy brown furred beast has taken down a tree about its size, and it's bigger than the horses, just happily grazing on it. It doesn't really seem to notice you.
I wonder how much its hide would be worth. And
Now
tusks.
who's being dark?
It's got tusks. Probably worth something. Ivory, maybe.
Maybe.
Someone do a nature check on what this thing is made out of.
Damn elephant.
All right, but all we see is it. We don't see anything else. Can I
Right.
perception.
You can roll perception, yeah.
Anything else jump out? Oh no, I'm just seeing this big ass
You don't even
elephant.
see
What
the
is
elephant.
that? Cato is a 5-year-old boy at the zoo for the first time again, and he's seen his first elephant, and his body and his brain don't know how to comprehend that thing. And no, that didn't happen to me when I was a child. What are you talking about?
Do we know if these things are quick to... I guess that wouldn't be a check that I could make. If they're
Nah.
quick to scare, frighten, do they attack?
That'd be a nature check.
Did
Senya.
the two barbarians see anything?
They don't say
Senya,
anything now.
What can you tell me about these creatures?
Well, this. Oh, nature check. Hold on.
They have trunks.
They got a lot
Big?
of things. Yeah, they have mastodons. Typically speaking, like we've said, they're herd animals. Usually, they travel in very, very large groups. This one by itself is enough to where you can be like, wait a minute, this is weird. What's it doing here? And that would then, like, if you didn't know that Divicos was in the area, you'd be like, that could reasonably be a druid's animal companion. This one is considerably, well, not considerably, I guess. We'll say it's unnaturally large, even for a fully grown mastodon. This is an exceptionally big member of its species. They don't normally, like, you certainly could spook it, and if you spooked it, it probably would try to run you over and beat you to death with its trunk, or its gore you with its tusks, things like that. But they tend to be usually pretty docile, mostly because there's not a lot of things in the animal kingdom that are really that much of a threat to them.
Damn, we're gonna need
So,
a bigger bear trap.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna slowly kind of approach it, make sure that like it sees me before, like I'm on like right on top of it, so it doesn't get spooked.
Okay. So it just kind of happily munching a tree, and then it sees you and it stamps its foot once and stops eating.
I stop, and I'm gonna call out, "Divicos!"
No response.
Stag Jesus.
Kalira would be like, well, if there is if anyone owns this large creature, we would appreciate it if you come out, because it's starting to make some of the members of our group nervous, and when they get nervous, they start cutting things.
Are you referring to yourself?
Looks awkwardly at Cato.
I don't get. What are you talking about? I don't.
Well, you're the only other person who's doing slashing damage, and it
I'm not a
couldn't be
loose
Kalira.
cannon.
You're not.
All of the shouting does cause the mastodon to stamp and like trumpet a little bit, but no one responds.
Do we see Aruxi footprints, or I'm guessing the Azamar would have like more like human footprints?
No, there
Hooves?
are no other footprints around here. And they could be cloven, they could be normal humanoid footprints. The Azamar could be flying. It's hard to say.
But we don't see anything besides the mastodon prints.
Right. Perhaps like an occasional very old like thylacine track or something, but
Would Minoru be smart enough to be able to I don't know if he would be able to communicate it with us though. If there
I
is
can't-
other sin.
I can't communicate with Minoru.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I just mean in the rudimentary way dogs communicate. You know, like if he smells something else other than the mastodon.
yeah, Minoru would be able to be like, something there.
I guess I will ask Minoru if he smells anything.
And
Is there anything else up there, boy?
which would he'd get a perception check basically. And not a lot of much.
Oh.
Well,
Minoru stubbornly sits.
I've never had mastodon meat before, so
No.
You guys thought I was joking.
I am joking.
As the
Great. Time
you
well
guys
spent.
stop like trying to shout out or do anything, the mastodon is still pretty uncomfortable, and it turns in such a way that it's like its back is away from all of you, and it's doing its best as it can to face the entire party.
Is it still eating?
No, it's just stamping and trumpeting and backing up, occasionally knocking over trees and shrubberies and things.
Looks pretty.
I-
Looks pretty. Good.
Can a couple of us handle animal, try to calm it down?
Yeah.
Ooh, good call, good call.
Deliver my handle animal and he's punching it.
Can I? Mine
Elephant.
mine sucks, but I can assist, right?
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
have it trained. Yeah, I'm gonna assist.
Oh,
You guys are all terrible. But I'm the
You're
worst.
terrible.
Proceeds to roll a 1. Okay, so Kalira.
Save.
I did say I was gonna try to flavor it as punching the elephant.
Doesn't do a whole lot for Kalira or Ionia, but Senia and Cato are able to approach the thing and like, woo, and it eventually calms down. As you guys, well, it calms down and gets a little closer to the rest of y'all, and its snoot comes forward and it starts sniffing at all of you.
I'ma grab like one of those loose tree branches with lots of leaves on it, kind of offer it to it, because it was clearly eating it.
And it takes it, yoinks it out of your hand. There's probably, like, Senia could try to resist if Senia wanted to stop this thing from pulling something out of your grasp, but it's no effort on the Mastodon's part to just up, over, grab, take, crunch. After that happens, the Mastodon begins, like, sniffing Senia up and down, and the end of its trunk, like, just, like, straight up on Senia, just up, down, wraps around you a little bit.
I get ticklish and I'm like, hee hee hee.
No.
It's wiping its snot all over you. You okay?
And I'm gonna take and pet the trunk.
And in response to that, the trunk wraps around you, and it picks you up bodily off the ground in a hug, and then sits you back down.
Wow,
Okay.
It's just nope.
I was about to pull my sword once it picked her up, and the trunk is coming off.
Yeah. No loose cannons around here, guys. Just
Well, dude, if you got
just calm.
if you saw someone get picked up by a mastodon by the trunk, would you just be like, "Oh, he's just giving her a hug"?
My first instinct wouldn't be to draw my sword.
Really?
Yeah.
What if
really.
she start getting crushed and I have to cut cut her free.
You've created an additional step there.
Right.
In fairness,
Back
Senia
there.
probably does get a little bit of the wind knocked out of her from this enormous thing, pick up, squeeze, set down.
Yeah, see?
Maybe like half a rib out of place.
So in character, does Cato have his sword out?
No. Well, he put his hand on the hilt at his waist, but he didn't pull it. As soon as so basically, here's how the events portrayed. So she petted the trunk. It wrapped this trunk around her and lifted her up. Cato immediately reached for his sword, just gripping it on his belt. But then when the Mastodon put her back down, he let go.
And then the Mastodon's trunk turns towards Cato and does the same thing, sniffing point blank up and down him.
I just take 2 steps back.
And it follows. Sniff, sniff, sniff.
It's okay. He's friendly.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not interested in getting Mastodon snot on me.
So then,
Would I?
what you're saying then is if this thing tries to grab you, Cato would resist?
I would probably just be I would just tense up probably and help.
And up you go. It holds on to Cato for a little longer. Cato smells very different. And squeeze, up, down, sniff, 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 sniff. I gotta roll for it. I gotta roll for this because it'd be too funny to not. Cal brought it up. If it's higher than 50, okay. The Mastodon does not sneeze. But it would have been good.
Would it have a name? Would I know the name of this thing?
No, you don't recognize it. It's been a couple years since the stag, or I'm gonna screw that up forever. Since the Tiger Lords and the Black Stags had the confrontation that resulted in, as far as Senia knew, her tribe being wiped out.
It's been 1 year.
In any case, Divicos didn't have a companion back then.
Okay.
It's 1 year since we started.
Right,
We've been
but
doing this
her
for
story.
half.
Right. Oh yeah. No, but Senia's backstory started she actually fled the the scene of the massacre and went straight to Rostov to petition for help, and was invited into the expedition. So it was at the start of our campaign. It was very recent of an event.
Can everybody make a
Still
perception
works.
check really quick?
We're about a year in now, so that
Who's
makes sense.
perceptioning,
The whole squad, if you would, please.
not perceiving.
You heard him.
Yep.
Do it.
Do it.
Perception. I'm not perceptioning.
Cato there's a big
I'm still
fuzzy animal.
I'm still distracted.
And the rest of you, as this is happening, you realize, as you're looking around, there is a very brightly colored, about the size of Jubilost bird, has been, perched on a tree behind you, and it's not moving. Not like it's dead, but, here is a very large mammal that's knocking things over and being loud. It's not scaring me. Very bright red and green and blue plumage run down this. It almost looks reptilian in nature.
Oh my.
It almost looks reptilian.
Yeah.
Sense motive on the bird.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of uncute creatures in this part of the woods.
Is that an Aruxi?
You're not. It's definitely smarter than the Avaraj bird, but it's not. It's definitely not an Aruxi. It's definitely some kind of
Reptilian-looking bird.
yeah. As it realizes, all of you stop, oh, what's that? It cocks its head at Ionia.
I cocked my head back.
And it goes the other
Oh my-
direction.
What was that?
It goes the other direction.
It's a cockfight.
What a nice,
Cockfight.
what a pretty bird. Oh, because
Good one, Teebs.
they cock their heads at each other.
How high up is it?
Probably about 50 feet up in the branches of a particular tall tree.
Interesting. Is it in a nest?
No, it's just kind of perched there.
And it's clearly looking at us.
Yeah, now it's bobbing its head back and forth with Ionia.
How intelligent does it seem? Are we talking speaking intelligent?
It's entirely possible, yeah.
I guess I'll just shout at it. Do you speak?
Ka! And that's all you
That's
get
a
out of
no.
it.
That was a big fat no.
It's a big fat sense motive check. It definitely responded to you.
So it understands.
Yeah. It just probably doesn't have the ability to, like, make different sounds with its mouth, basically.
Not a parrot, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where this creature's companions are?
Ka!
Well, that was succinct.
Did that seem more like a yes car or no car to you guys? What do you think? Yes,
I have no idea.
Can you show us?
Ka!
I'm guessing it was a no car.
Give me a sense motive. It does appear to be one ka yes, one ka, or two kas no. Which then would, like, further... This thing is smart. This thing is able to communicate, just not necessarily with a language.
Right. Was that last one a 2-ka?
Yeah. It's basically, so far, it said yes, yes, no.
That's
Okay,
confusing.
well, so it can communicate. It knows where the companions are. It cannot show us where the companions are.
Right.
I'm kind of thinking out loud.
Does that mean that the whatever the companions of this creature are, they're most likely in some sort of danger or behind some sort of captivity? If this creature is too afraid to go there, but it knows where it is, or the creature is working for them.
Is that a question posed at the bird?
I mean, it's posed to the... She's not talking to the bird. It's not cute.
Okay, fair enough.
Why don't you ask it?
Question posed to the bird.
It's important questions we gotta ask here in
That's the
TTRPGs.
world we're living in right now.
Is the bird afraid to take us to the companion?
Are you afraid to take us there?
Doesn't respond.
It's trying to keep us from the tower. It's all been a diversion to keep us from the tower.
Well, what do you think, Senya?
Well, the witch did say that my tribesmen and the Uruxi fell back to the tower, so I think that would be our next stop.
Okay.
Do we want to probably try to take our friend here with us? I'm not sure if it's better to leave him here, where maybe Divicos knows where he's at, or take him with us and try to reunite them. I'm a little concerned as to how they got separated in the first place.
The burb continues watching the mastodon the mastodon probably at this point has moved over to the rest of the party and has tried to sniff and grab everyone.
Yeah, like if Divicos is not with the Mastodon, it is his mount. I'm sure that like if we bring the Mastodon with us, he'll appreciate it.
Okay.
Well, he seems to like you. Do you want to see if you can get him to follow? Or her, I guess I'm not really sure.
Is it a boy or a girl?
You'd be able to figure out it's male.
You got cut out.
Oh, good. You'd be able to figure out, yeah, the mastodon is male.
Is a what?
Is a boy.
Is a boy, okay.
It's got
Big
dangly
old
bits.
boy.
Indeed.
Saying you had to step away for a second.
Gotcha. Well, what do you team?
So I think the plan is to get the Mastodon to follow us, head down to the shore of Candlemere, look for the Uruxi there that Amalia said
Okay.
might be there.
Makes sense. Okay. So then we've had a day of travel to get there, a day of travel to get there. You guys begin making your way towards the big island. Okay, so as you break out of the tree line and you approach the quite deep lake, one of the first things that dawns on you is if you're going to get to the tower at the center of the lake, you're going to need a way to cross the water.
It's as a lake. Water a lot calmer here than it is on the Skunk River.
Yeah.
And how far abouts is the shore of the tower?
I would say probably if each one of those hexes is 12 miles from point to point. Oh, probably like at least 4 miles. It's a real big lake.
Yeah, so it's not an easy swim.
Mm-hmm. Especially not for the people who don't have like the physique to perform that kind of thing.
Right.
I think I could do it. I'm feeling really good about it this time.
I don't know. I don't think witches and Wata go. I mean, you've proven to be prone to drowning. But
I was
think-
definitely joking, but thank you for the concern, Cal.
I think like the only option, like if we wanna go there sooner than later, I think the only option would be to see if the kobolds can help us out with the book.
we do have we have a raft too that they were
We have
using
a raft?
before.
The
Yeah,
kobolds
they
are
were
very
using-
far away.
Yeah, the kobolds are
It's-
kind of super far.
The raft is what the kobolds were using before they found their little stone things. I believe the freeloader made it.
We could probably make something. What would that be? Engineering?
Yeah, y'all could probably working together. There's enough timber.
I'm just gonna.
I'm going to acrobatics over. Yeah, say it.
I was
Is
just
this
gonna-
the?
Can I
is this
jump
the-
it?
Wow. Is this the same day that we were at Amalia's, or is this a different day? 2
days have passed now.
2 days have passed. Okay.
Oh, great! I have more health. I thought you were going
I
to say.
am 100% down to try to make a raft or a boat.
I mean,
Can we
I mean-
see if the mastodon can like fell some trees for us?
Yeah, make a handle animal check. Senia turns around and is like, well, maybe we can. And the mastodon has already taken out a tree and is nomming on the leaves. You give it a command, it knocks down another one. And the mastodon could get you guys certainly enough timber to try to throw together some kind of raft.
who knows how to make a raft? You just tie the logs together. Is that it?
Well, Ionia actually, no, she believes she could pull it off if given the the time and the ability to put it together, given you have more or less good enough raw materials, given that the Candlemere seems to be a pretty placid lake, it would probably be fine. Maybe don't go like white water rafting. That was hard to say.
Yep.
Maybe don't do that with it. But it could probably at least get you to the island.
Well,
Can you
I'm game.
summon something to carry us across? Is that
Yeah.
possible? You created a horse.
huh? Oh yeah, I guess I did. I mean,
Can't you summon like a giant sea otter or something that could?
We would really trust that more than a raft?
No, I would not. I was just curious.
I could make something to pull us. I'm sure.
Oh, pull the raft. There we go.
But
That makes sense.
But it would only last for 5 rounds, and it's miles.
It'll get us started.
Get momentum going, and then once we're going in that direction, it goes poof. Like
Wait. I think I have something that actually makes it last longer. Give me a second to look into that.
DM, real quick. Natural healing. It's like was my con plus half my dice.
I believe it's level plus con.
Oh, it's level plus con. Okay, cool.
Nat healing.
Natural healing, man. You know.
Kingmaker is definitely
and
an
butter
adventure
right
path where you can count on that and don't have to cry to the healer and can play the superstitious barbarian because you got
Yep.
enough walking time that it'll all fix itself.
So I got this. Plus I got this thick con mod. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, did Ionia have a way to keep the summons around for
More than
more than
30
rounds?
seconds.
You'd need them for...
Well, servitor lasts for a minute, and then I have this I'm looking over. But I think this only does like rounds per level to minutes per level. I don't think it does minutes per level higher.
Yeah.
So
So-
what you can do is summon one, pull us for a minute, and then when it goes away, just create a new one to pull us for a minute.
And burn all of your spell
Burn
slots.
All of your
spells.
spell slots, yeah.
I mean, it's not spell slots. I could do. Give me a sec.
Can we just fashion some ores?
The caster is consulting their spell book. You wait a minute.
Wait. Esker, can that staff be?
No.
Yes, that's an order.
I also will not be doing the oring.
Oring.
Still feel like it's
The oration. Sounds pretty-
yeah, the oration. Yep.
Yeah.
So I could do. Jeez, this occultist is complicated, guys.
Well,
You know what? I think let's
I
just...
could do at least 2 minutes.
And Cato has already swam to the tower and back.
Yeah.
he's
There's
already
Nothing
he's
there
already
at all. He's
run
decked out
across
in
the-
magic loot. He's now Cato the White.
Found
run
something to
across
draw a
the surface
sword
of the
at.
water.
My my swim is awful.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna ninja run across it.
Yeah, I was gonna like
Cato's arms go
Naruto.
straight back. You realize it's not a tower on the other side, but it is in fact Area 51, and they can't get all of you.
Everyone.
Yeah, I'm still gonna
Not
make those
everyone.
jokes 6 months after.
What
the-
happened to that? Yeah.
Nothing at all.
It happened, and it was as
Yeah.
terrible as you would think.
The bodies of weebs litter the field.
The government covered
Turns
it
out-
up.
it
The
turns
government
out-
covered it up.
it turns out they could stop all of them.
Yeah.
Especially with
Really?
that much notice. Yeah.
Right.
You're announcing your invasion like months in advance.
Yeah. All right. So,
I
so
guess
do we have
really
to do any
quickly,
additional-
as the occultist is occultisting, could everyone make a perception check real quick?
cut
We
out
got
there.
perception.
Yeah, perception, please.
Do we have to make any additional rolls for this raft creation?
Neonia can figure it out. It'll be shoddy, but it'll float.
All right.
And as this is going on, it starts to get a little, like, it's getting kind of dark. And in the direction of the tower, as the sky begins to get dark enough to where you pick it up, there are several little flashing lights, almost like gigantic fireflies, but a brilliant blue color, flashing around the tower.
Sun's getting real low, big guy.
You say it looks like fireflies?
Yeah, but much, much bigger if you'd be able to see them from here.
Miles away, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Nature,
suddenly remembering
Arcane.
when I fell into that river and I'm not liking the raft anymore. Maybe we should
Yeah,
get the boats.
And if you think about it, if anything happens while we're literally miles into this lake, like, we're done. Like, this is...
Party's over, yeah.
Yeah, there's no
Rip
swimming
Kingmaker.
back to... There's no swimming back to shore. None of you will survive. Well, some of you might, but all of us won't.
The barbarians will be cool. Grom will be fine. Minoru is now the king. It is now Minoru's Doggo Kingdom, and that's the game we're playing.
Did I already make the raft?
Sure. In the time that the deliberation
Sorry.
has happened, the engineering check was a brilliant success, and
Yeah, I'm not getting on that death trap.
I'm
I
kind of
glare at everybody. I worked very hard for this. It's a sturdy raft. Look how good. I'm kind of shaking it. Like, look, it doesn't come apart. Right. This will
Shaking
get us
the raft.
across.
Is it on the water as she's shaking it?
sure. And like, it is sturdy, and it will get you across, but that's because you have a car with 4 donuts, shall we say? That's a good analogy there. It'll get you there, but that's because you're driving on an absolutely perfect placid road.
Kalira will get on it.
Okay, and it seems to support your weight just fine.
Yeah, I don't think I want this to be how our adventure comes to an end.
I really don't want to die.
Are you a Cato or a cat? Get on the raft.
I can't swim, dude.
Just for safety, I'll take off my armor and get on the raft.
Okay.
And Minoru will jump up there too. Does it look like it'll support all of us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Separate-
here's what we'll do. Since you all like the buddy system here, Kalira starts taking out her silk rope and she ties around her waist and then ties around. Who got on the raft next? Ionia, right? Yeah. Puts it on Ionia's race. He goes, "Come on, who's next?"
I mean,
So
so we'll all
if
drown
we
together?
all
What do you
die
think?
together.
They'll
You
all
know-
die together. I guess as a quick
Yeah, you
point
gotta-
of
you
order, in case it wasn't super obvious, Grom, the supplies, the Mastodon are like that will make the raft very sad if we try to put
Yeah, I
up on it.
figured
Bring all that.
Okay.
coming.
So
So the
can't
idea that the
can't bring
idea
the
is
animals.
the idea is if we do go over, I think some of us may be able to pick up the slack for the rest of us, possibly. Not going to name any names.
What now?
You would probably be able to swim better if you had that mask off, though.
That's not going anywhere.
I'm just observation.
The 20-pound
This is-
golden mask that Artoris insists on wearing, and it weighs him down.
This is a really bad idea.
It's
I shake the raft again. Look how sturdy.
Yeah, that's not endearing me towards again. If you're gonna shake that damn thing on the water, I'm just gonna be like,
I won't
I'm gonna
shake it
kick
once
you
you're
off.
on it.
Better not. Or I might just kick you off of it.
Well, then you'll come with me because we'll all be tied together.
And
apparently.
we'll all drown because of inter-party violence. Oops.
Oh, are we? Why are we tied together? There's no way I'm getting
I don't
tied.
know. Kalir wanted to.
No, that's dumb.
I just thought it would make you feel better.
I'm not being tied to.
I mean, it's
Anybody?
you know what else is dumb? Sitting on the shore, squeaking like a little girl.
I mean,
About
shouldn't we at
getting
least
wet.
do this during the day? Isn't it getting to be night?
Yeah.
It'd probably
the sun's
be
getting
fully
low.
dark by the time you got to the island, yeah.
Let's
Okay.
let's set up camp. We'll leave in the morning.
I can see.
I'm
I
hungry.
can see just fine. It's fine.
Cato starts.
I can see fine.
Cato starts clearing an area to set up, like the tents and stuff.
Okay. I mean, it's not going to get any less wet.
Nah, but I don't want to
Oh,
get there. I don't want to be sailing in the darkness. We'll go in the morning. First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. Okay, fair enough. So as you guys set up camp for the night, the lights around the tower persist, and they do so all night.
They do what?
They do so like the entire night.
No, I missed what it was they were doing.
They persist. They're still like
persist.
they are there. They
Being
pop
lights.
in, pop out. Occasionally they'll come a little farther forward, but never like
Whoops.
not like oh they're right on top of you, but like they'll move off the island a little and then come back.
Well, since we're not going over there yet, I guess I've got my watch to kind of study them. I'd like to figure out what those lights are.
Sure. Call it the knowledge checks of your choice.
You're cutting out again.
Now, I'm gonna hold on. Here we go. I'm gonna fix this. Hub up. Oh, that didn't work at all. Hub up. Hub up.
And there he goes.
Force the connection. Okay. And here he is. The knowledge check of your choice.
Just any old knowledge check.
Anything you can justify.
Do local. It's fine.
I'm thinking Arcana or Nature. Let's do Arcana first.
Okay.
I'm getting kind of a Dancing Lights vibe.
That's fair. Let me grab them from the sword. Because that'd probably get them. And it probably also sends a little bit of a tingle of fear down Ionia's spine.
Just big old lightning bug.
In fact, what you're looking at is will-o-wisps.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Oh, great.
They
I don't want to
are.
go over there anymore.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you.
Character. I don't know if Ionia knows what this means, but in character or out of character, I don't want to go over there.
So
Cal
they,
told you the tower is going to be filled with dead things. You
What
didn't
are-
listen.
What are will-o-wisps?
will-o-wisps are. They've been called a lot of things by a lot of people. Some have called them rush lights, pine lights, even like jack-o'-lanterns. Every trapper and farmer and swamp witch worth their salt living in this kind of region would be able to identify what they are. They feed off the psychic emanations of basically fear, and they're drawn to sources of great psychic fear emanations, which would then imply that either something is happening at that tower right now and fear, or something happened there a long, long time ago, and the will-o-wisps are just like drawing latent energy off the ruins themselves. They...
It's haunted.
This could be why the lizard bird didn't want
Let's
to come
go.
over.
Let's go over there.
As far as the mechanical stuff
prepared for
goes, Ionia gets 2 questions.
Jeez. What kind of scary things are we looking at here? They have any like one-shot mechanics or anything? I'm not really familiar with Pathfinder will-o-wisps, but I'm familiar with D&D will-o-wisps. So I guess that's kind of... Are they scary like that?
Do they drain life? I think that's what you look for, right?
Will they nom us?
Familiar with Elder Scrolls will-o-wisps.
They don't have any ability in and of themselves to make, other than just, oh my god, it's a will-o-wisp, we're now afraid of that. They don't have any ability to make you afraid. More so, they tend to pop in and out of sight. Suddenly, here's a glowing light. They follow the light. Then someone gets lost, and then they're scared, and then a will-o-wisp will pop up. And what they do is they just kind of fly into you, and they shock you. Pun not intended.
As
And
they
then,
eat your fear.
pretty much. And I guess what I can give you with that is anytime a will-o-wisp is within 15 feet of anybody subject to a fear effect or a dying creature, it gets fast healing 5.
The
Well, I
will-o-wisp.
won't use my fear spell then.
Indeed, yeah. The will-o-wisp would get 5 hit points back every round.
Just, but can will-o-wisps themselves feel fear?
Yes.
OP. Fear effect on self for fast healing.
They technically can. Yeah, that's weird. Damn. Roll me up
Does
like
anybody
a...
else have
You
any?
fear a group of them. You fear a group of them, and they all heal each other rapidly. Nice.
Man, you're so spooky. 5 hit points back. I love what you did with your hair today. More 5 hit points back. Build that
I
encounter.
guess. I guess if unless anybody else has anything specific they want to ask,
Go for
I
it.
can take that. Do they have any weaknesses? Any like type of energy that they're weak to or something?
They do not.
Whoop.
They'll be weak to my sword,
Um,
as all things are.
You're weak.
Ghost types are immune to physical attacks, though.
Bah.
Bad.
I need a couple levels, and then I can do ghost. What is it called? Ghost strike.
Well,
Guess we'll be coming back here. It's a high
Ghost,
level
ghost,
dungeon we
ghost
found.
touch. In a few levels, well, not in a few levels, in like 10 levels, I'll be able to.
I mean, you
I'll
have
be
a
able to
magic.
ghost
I
touch.
mean, you have a magic sword. You can hit it. I think.
Oh.
Yep,
Can
you'll
I?
just only do half
Senya?
damage.
Half. Okay. I'm a magic sword, and my mat does magic things.
is Senya back at the table?
I'm here. Been here a while.
She snuck back in.
I will relay what I know about will-o-wisps to Senya. Is this something your tribe was familiar with, or I'm having a hard time believing that anyone would just kind of go hang out there, unless you have a reason to believe otherwise. I think we should redirect our search elsewhere.
Now who's scared?
How much would I know how much tribal knowledge would I know of these things?
Throw a nature check down.
Oh, what check?
Knowledge nature. About the same amounts of stuff that Ionio would. You don't really want to be around them. They are creatures of usually absolute evil. They're pretty smart. They're probably smarter than most of the people in the party by a wide margin, and basically they just lure unexpecting common folks to their death. There's probably not any, like, the Uruxi or Divicos probably isn't on the island unless they're in, like, grave danger. Seems more along the lines of, like, in the such same way as the Stag Lord's Fort had a bunch of zombies out front of it. This being an ancient ruin attracts will-o-wisps.
But just imagine, guys, what kind of like treasures could be within those halls.
There's probably so many good treasures, but
think
I'm gonna start counting the will-o-wisps.
Okay. A lot. There are very, very many.
Do they only come out?
There probably is a lot of treasure there, but there's also 1, 2, 3, like 100 of those will-o-wisps.
Do they only come out at Did they only come out at nighttime?
No, that's when it's easier for you to see them in their natural state. Actually, I'll give you that one from the nature check that Senya made. A will-o-wisp naturally is invisible. They only turn visible when they attack or when they're trying to be like, hey, come here. I'm just a light. I'm not a spoopy thing at all. So they
either
could be trying to draw you in.
Ooh.
some kind of siren song.
Yeah.
I don't think we're prepared for it.
I am so prepared.
Oh, all of a sudden my raft is looking good, huh?
Now if there's an enemy over there that we can at best deal half damage to, and can't even determine the numerous amount of.
And
That raft's looking pretty good.
I like TPK by death on raft, no, but TPK by Will-O-Wisp. Let's just rush right on in there.
I mean, TPK. Okay, there's a bunch of Will-O-Wisps. They're spooky, scary, whatever. I'm sure we can handle them.
I like to think we're all just like sitting around a campfire telling like ghost stories about Will-O-Wisps.
Yeah.
All right, fine. You know what? If you guys want to chicken out, leave this grand and glorious tower just out there by itself with all the treasures and knowledge and secrets that it holds, because you're afraid of a few like blinking lights.
I mean, it's
I
not going
really want to go in there.
Okay.
I just also think we should find Sinya's Blackstag first. I think we should have a plan before we go in. Look at this raft. This raft is flimsy.
The raft is real good. If a Will-O-Wisp decides it would like that raft to not be a raft anymore, it's a different story.
Oh. Could they do that?
Yeah, they're definitely, well, like I said, they're pretty darn smart. And
But they'd want us there so that they could.
Yeah, so what happens is we get over there in our nice, awesome raft, and then they destroy that raft, so we don't have a way back. And are there more trees over there? We don't have a mastodon to cut them down if there are.
Alternatively, it stands within reason that a Will-O-Wisp could just knock the raft out and then feed on the fear of the party as the party drowns.
Sounds like
a good time.
It's all upside for them.
Yeah.
So we have trolls, we have a Rooksy to find.
I do want to find this troll chieftain.
King.
I'm not going to call him a king. That puts him on like the same level.
Well,
He probably won't call you a king either, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know if you. I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he may be on a higher level than you.
He will call me king, or I'll remove his head once we've shown him our superiority.
Then he grows it
I think your
back and
sword
calls you
is
food
that,
again.
I don't think that little toothpick of a sword you just could cut off a head of a troll.
I would start sawing, and it's not a toothpick.
It's very thin.
It's not. It's not like a rapier.
It's not that thin, but it is extremely thin.
As Kalira taps the pair of great swords that are slung over her back.
Alright, well, we'll come back. Are we moving on? What are we
I
going to do with this raft?
I
Just
supp-
leave it here?
I suppose so, since we came all the way out here
So
to see this stupid tower of yours.
Yeah, this is
So
dumb.
some
Telling
more
you
traveler will come by and be like, ooh, a raft. And hey, a tower!
Yeah, I was gonna say, as much as I hate to do this because this raft is brilliant, I do worry that if we leave the raft here, it just makes it that much easier for the Will-O-Wisps to feed on some dummy that comes by.
Well, dummies will be dummies. I don't worry about them.
You know what they say?
What kind of king
Maybe
are you?
Amalia will be like, ooh.
Why don't you go over to that tower?
I think Amalia
I feel like she already knows
smarter
what's.
than that.
I'm surprised she didn't warn us if she knew. I feel like she would have known this.
That's true. We
If she
didn't
didn't
even
know-
mention the tower.
If she didn't know that there were Will-O-Wisps at the tower, she, I'm sure, would know when she came over and saw the Will-O-Wisps at the tower.
Plus, it wasn't turning night. And that kind of
That's
saved
true.
us.
Yeah.
If we had arrived here at morning instead of at dusk, probably would
Oh.
have just taken the raft on over.
Yep. Now we would have debated the safety of the
That's
raft until
true.
it was nighttime anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. The sun is rising, everyone's half awake and yawning. Just, no, this raft's not good. I will go to bed.
All right, fine. You guys are a bunch of cowards. We're not going to go to the goddamn tower that we actually came out here specifically to do. Cowards, all of you.
Cowards,
Go
all of
on.
you.
Well, we got to get home and start planning for Tech's event.
Go alone solo the whole tower, man.
Wait. You're calling them cowards, and you are scared of the water.
Well, I can't fight the water with my sword.
You can fight it with your arms and your legs.
I can't swim. Shit.
Kato, being
Swimming.
stupid isn't the same as being brave.
Okay. Arcturus's amazing acrobatic skill that he showed. I'm not much better. I'm not much better when it comes to swim.
Arcturus
I'm at a minus.
falls over standing. Just, oh!
I'm at a -2 on all swim checks with you. So.
Okay.
Just for the sake of, yeah.
Cato goes out splashing and look how bad I am at swimming.
Killer wades out to the water and dries Cato out.
Cato goes, look guys, I'm really bad at swimming, and then actually falls in and starts flailing wildly.
It's fine.
No, I was just showing you what my rolls look like for swim checks. All right, I guess yeah. So what days? How long have we been out here?
I'm gonna say it will probably flub the date by just a little, but presuming that you guys don't I'm gonna just go west forever, you have enough time to deal with Candlemere Tower. Words are hard. The Uruxi over here and make it back, as long as you don't delay in time for Tax Fest. I know it has a different name, but it's Tax Fest.
It's actually not. That's exactly what it's called.
That's fair enough.
So bad.
It just sounds like we've got a bunch of national touring bands together, and it's where
you get deals. You get deals on carriages. It's Tax Fest, everybody! Come on down. We got carriages.
And none of the carriages are attacked by the Tiger Lords.
Yeah.
15 down, something APR, words I don't know. Abadar. John is just sad in his bedroom. No, this is the wrong one. Arresto.
So, I mean, I don't think there is any solving Candlemere Tower right now, since you guys don't want to even go that.
Might as well just move on, since we have these super excited people who are now very much excited about the tower.
I know.
I'm still very excited about the tower. I just think we should be smart about it.
How do
you be smart about creatures that you can't?
Let's come back in 5 levels, guys.
Give me time to research them. We can make a plan on how to deal with them.
You know how our plans usually unfold. Make plan, try to execute plan, throw plan out,
and then win anyway.
Let's go.
What are you
Ione is just on the boat, all right, bet, sure, rowing out.
Kato just wants out of character. Dell just wants loot, guys.
No. Well, yeah, I'm not really. I bet you there's some wicked stuff in that tower.
There probably is, and none of it will be any good to us if we're dead. Is all I'm saying.
All right, fine, but I'm just saying I don't know what I'm saying. Fine.
I'm just saying maybe Lost knows more about these things. He might be able to help us come up with a way to get rid of a bunch of them all at once, rather than trying to take them on one at a time. There's an army of them and 5 of us.
My strongest spell is related to fear, and apparently that is what they want. So I'm a little hesitant.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it could work to your advantage. I mean, if you fear one of them, they all start attacking each other. How does that sound?
Or
they'll start
right, because
healing, though.
But
I mean, they attack one, get one down. They just start eating each other.
That's true.
As opposed to eating each other, and they're just balls bouncing off each other. That's what I heard.
Or they're just getting rapid healing 5 and killing us.
That is true.
That is true.
Also, that's the best, most metagamey thing I've ever heard in my life. Make the Will-O-Wisp make itself afraid, and it's just immortal. Good, yes.
Wouldn't casting Fear on one of them, they would all start eating that one, and then the rest of them, all of them would have fast healing except for the one.
But the ones with fast healing would be at full health, so it wouldn't matter.
No, it wouldn't.
It's a rotating.
We're attacking it.
Yeah. So
yeah,
actually,
fast healing only does so much.
Can you cast Fear 100 times a day, Oscar? Or Arcturus?
Yeah, fear them one at a time.
But I'm also confused. I thought it was just a passive sort of, if they're in the area of fear, they get a...
Right.
Do they have to actually take an action to feed?
Nope, it's a passive thing.
But what we're saying is they attack things that
are afraid.
Project fear. So they would attack each other. Because they're projecting fear, and it's like a pheromone that...
A pheromone, if you will.
Pheromone.
Yeah. So the will-o-wisps would attack each other if they sensed fear on each other, basically, or that's what we're assuming.
I feel like that wouldn't work.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah.
Well, we'll all die finding out.
All right.
Maybe.
Yet we're like, let's go
Like if
hunt
it was
down
that
the-
easy, like
Yeah.
they wouldn't congregate in big groups like.
I mean, I don't know if they are under the like I mean, would they? Just because, I mean, it's like, oh yeah, we shouldn't congregate in large groups because, in case
One of us
somebody
could
hears
get
from all of us.
Destroys all of
I mean,
us.
no, they're not going to destroy all of them. I'm just saying it would. I'm just saying it would affect one of them. It would only affect one of them. It wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. It's not like it's going to like destroy the entire group, but
genocide with one fear spell.
I still feel like the group would have trace amounts of fear, so they wouldn't be like paralyzed with I need to attack this one. And even then, I can only cast it like 4 times. So even if assuming it worked out perfect, that's 4 of them down, and then there were countless amounts.
Well, if one of them panics and runs away, then the other ones follow it. How's that?
And then we can quickly run into the tower, loot all the valuables, and leave before the fear runs out.
Never mind Dell's idea. Dell's part of the plan is not my part of the plan. I just want to go on record.
Your record is noted. All right, this is a huge waste of time. We're obviously not going into the tower now, so let's just drop it and.
Are you sure? Sorry, I had to just the once. It's been a very classic reclaimer trope.
Right.
But tower, the Uruxi village.
I guess we're abandoning it. So there's the Uruxi village, and did we get an idea of where the troll camp with their king chieftain thing was located?
Not really, no.
Or
Somewhere
just
around
out
here.
there?
They're probably based on the fact that like they jumped Jubilost, you dealt with one at Amalia's hut. They're probably somewhere in the region, but you're not sure
Yeah.
where.
They're probably close by.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
But do what though?
I'm moving to the next hex.
Which one?
The
One to the west, right?
one to the west, yeah.
Just wanted to be sure before I put you where the willow is.
Yeah.
Ambushes, No one jumped, because someone kind of jumped at it. Okay, so as y'all make your way down the me clearing the things to be able to read literally the murky river, sitting in the center of it, a couple miles out, there is a wooden palisade that probably like the closest analogy I can think of off the top of my head would be like almost like a beaver dam. Like it has been built in the center of the river, clearly around something. As you guys are approaching, there are several of all shape and size flying things buzzing around the area, and as you get closer, they all kind of just dive in. It's more of the same story here. You will need to swim out to the place. Certainly it's not a, several miles to the tower kind of thing, but whatever the settlement is, it's out in the middle of the river.
How wide is this river?
About as wide as the skunk was when you tried to deford it.
Oh. I mean, I jumped it.
With a couple of here is a place to land, here is a place to land.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
In this case, it's more of a swim all the way across kind of thing.
Get the raft.
Huh?
Did we bring the raft? I didn't think we were hauling that along.
No, I don't think.
No.
Build another raft.
We could
Or go
back.
get it.
You guys have
We
enough
destroyed it.
carrying things.
Did we
You could just
destroy it?
put the
Oh.
raft in your inventory.
Oh.
Yeah.
Small
T-Bo-
retcon
T-Bo-
then.
Tibor's got plenty of carry capacity, I'm sure.
Why don't we
Haul
just
a
put it? Why don't we just put it on the mammoth that's following us for
Mastodon?
some reason.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Mastodon, as you guys get here, the Mastodon just moves forward into the water and pretty effortlessly swims, and in some cases just walks, because much bigger, across and over to where the fortifications are. You see a gate open, and it's let in.
We should have just jumped on its back.
God damn it.
Probably wouldn't have let us do that. It's friendly, but it's probably not that.
You would ride a
Mastodon?
strange creature, but you wouldn't get on the raft. Interesting.
Well, because Ionia built that raft.
Why don't you trust?
It's not that I don't trust you.
Yes,
Anyway.
we're on the raft.
Because we're on the raft.
What is,
All right.
what is it then?
Building a new raft?
No, we brought it with us.
Did we bring it with?
We're retcon. Yeah, we're saying that Tibor carried it, or
Kalira just throws it over her shoulder.
Shoulder.
The Mastodon just dragged it along with it.
yeah, there we go.
If that was the case, that raft is probably super dead. If you just strap it to the
Dragging it.
Mastodon, and we're going to drag it across the ground for about a day. And one log remains. Best of luck,
Right.
everyone. Go over top and just kick. But now y'all can... The raft holds. It's easy enough to, row it across. The current's a little stronger out here, but not so much that, I'm going to ask for, a proficient sailor or something. And as you get on the other side, there's a very clear, where you would park your boat kind of thing, so you're not just climbing up a sheer mud face onto this island in the middle of the river. There's not really a path so much as an area where the brambles and things don't grow as thickly, leading up to a front gate in a wooden palisade. The palisade is ringed by a perception check, we'll say.
We find those perception checks around here a lot.
There's just, you see D20s all over the place.
Ooh.
And my perception is 3 higher than that.
Gotcha. Okay, so Senia, Cato don't really get much more than, there's a bunch of Uruxi with bows. Uh-oh. Kalira, Artoris, and Minoru probably just kind of has a general, feeling of unease. In total, there's probably about 50 of them lining the other side of this little wooden palisade with weapons pointed at you, but all of them are pretty... none of them are physically bleeding anywhere, but at the very best, a lot of them look overly tired. Some of them are pretty small. Some of them are, their scales have gone from a brilliant blue and green almost to white. It comes pretty obvious to especially probably Artoris and Kalira, that there's a lot of these guys. Fighting them would be a poor decision for the 6 of you, but say if you brought more people back, they don't look like they're able to defend themselves in such a way as the stories of the Uruxi that you've heard from other people might lead you to believe. The
Does
gate...
it look...
Good,
sorry.
good.
I was gonna say, does it look like they've had a battle here? Are there corpses anywhere?
Not a battle here, but they're recovering from one. If they've only just returned from fighting the Tiger Lords and it didn't go well for them.
Healing.
Yeah.
Where's the
Ewan isn't caught
Mastodon
up
at?
yet.
Somewhere inside on the other side of the palisade. It was let in.
Oh yeah, so not only would there be 50 of these guys, but a Mastodon.
And the Mastodon's probably the most threatening thing. Anyway, the gate opens and out walks a... Well, I have a token for her. I'll just jam it on the board really quickly. It may come out a little too big. Do not panic.
Whoa!
She's big.
shit.
She's the biggest lizard. Out comes a purple scaled Out comes a purple scaled red-eyed Uruxi. She raises her hand as she's walking out, in a very overt gesture of "I'm not trying to hurt you," and then begins incanting. Spellcraft checks are applicable if anybody would like to make them.
Oh, come on.
Artoris.
You can do...
It's definitely a magic.
He's casting magic.
Ionia, save us.
She's packing.
You're required for rolls.
I can grab her sheet real quick.
What is this spellcraft?
Spellcraft. Oh.
I'll tireless logic that.
Okay, there we go.
Hey.
So you're not really sure what it is, Artoris, as you hear her speaking in whatever language you consider to be your primary language, and so too does everyone. As Ioni's like, oh wait, no, she's clearly cast tongues on herself.
Oh, she just wants to be able to talk to us.
Probably because she doesn't speak common. She looks out at all of you and just, what business have you?
This is where we say, like, just here to conquer you. No big deal. That was out of character. Do not.
I'm like, all right,
Do not take that. Do not take that as an in-character response. Cato takes a step forward, also raising his hands, showing that he's not armed, with his sword left at his belt. Hello there. You have nothing to fear from us. Your warriors can lower their weapons. We're not here to fight or cause you any harm.
I was across the room, but I said General Kenobi when you said hello.
Hello there.
General Kenobi. The Uruxi sprouts multiple arms. You have not answered my question. What business have you?
I'm gonna step forward. We're looking for one of my tribesmen by the name of Divicos. Do you know of such a person?
You are Black Stag?
Yes.
She mulls it over. Sense motive checks.
And then roll for initiative. Turns out these Uruxi were like ancient rivals of the Black Stags, and this Black Stag Jesus is the one that actually kicked all their asses, and why they're all bleeding.
You realize he's hanging from the palisade, much like the Uruxi from Session 1 was, and they're very mad about it. And haha, no. Artoris, you're not really sure what's going on as she kind of cocks her head to the side a little bit. Cato, Ionia, both of you, it's almost like she's hearing someone talk to her, and you can't hear it. Like there's a voice in her head, or someone has magicked at her. It may not be best for you to see him at this time. He is... The war has been hard on all of us.
The war against whom?
She turns towards the west.
What do you mean it's not the best time? I've been thinking I was the last one of my people for a year, and I will not be denied of knowing that I'm not alone.
Well,
I must see him.
Sounds like an intimidate check to me.
I will not be denied.
Oh boy, intimidate. I'm real bad at it.
Yeah. So she cocks her head again, almost as if like someone is speaking to her. And she goes, I think you're right. She shakes her head, turns back towards you, saying, I don't think you understand. It would do more harm than good now, and in any case, letting the Drylanders in, and she waves her arm back behind her, where several Uruxi are still armed. My people would not be happy with me. This place is... Oh, she kind of looks around, looks up and down. Sacred, I suppose, is as close as I could say for you.
Sacred how?
Secrets of our people, Drylander.
You got anything to eat in here? I've been walking around for days. Rations are not. Been eating the same deer jerky for months.
She looks around, looks y'all up and down, and just again, we will not allow outsiders within these walls, especially not now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, as I mentioned, you have nothing to fear from us. We will not impose ourselves. However, I would ask a few things of you, if you do not mind, if you would be so kind.
She nods. Moves forward, moves towards the rest of y'all, and sits down as a... make a knowledge nature check, if you can, if you're trained in it. So Kalira is a little more like, oh my god, she's enormous. Xenia, it's more like, no, let me in. Ionia, the thing about Iruxi is, like a lot of reptiles, an Iruxi will grow throughout an Iruxi's entire lifetime. The bigger an Iruxi is, the stronger an Iruxi is, the older an Iruxi is. And she's probably about 7.5 feet tall. So she moves and sits down, and a lot of that goes the other way from her tail. She sits down, cross-legged on the ground. Yes?
I get the feeling, or I am of the understanding that that your enemy is also our enemy. You've been fighting the Tiger Lords, haven't you?
Do not say that name here.
Very well. We too have had an altercation with them. They are definitely not our friends. With that said, my companion is very eager, as you could tell, to be reunited with her family. When do you think such a reunion would be appropriate?
It is a difficult conversation. She turns in the direction of Xenia. You trust this one?
Is she asking me the question?
Yeah, referring to Cato.
Oh, I do.
And you trust the rest of them?
I do. Well, perhaps not the other barbarian. Not so much. But they are reliable. They have proven their...
What are you calling a barbarian?
She's clearly just a beefy fighter.
They have proven their worth in battle. Time and time again.
She turns towards Kalira, and y'all can see now that she's much closer. In her right hand, she's playing with it. It looks like a little tooth. She's kind of just like rolling it over in her hand. And why would she not trust you, half-elf?
But what do you mean half? I'm okay, fine. But
the tongue comes out as she scents the air and just... I recognize that scent.
I don't know. I really don't care who she trusts. It's her own prerogative who she trusts, and if she doesn't trust me, that's fine with me. I don't care. I've given none of these people any concerns or wishes to not trust me. I think it's more of the fact that I'm not a buddy lovey-dovey with them. I think you kind of understand where that's coming from with that, yes.
She opens her mouth because, like, she does not possess lips. She cannot smile, but she makes as close of an approximation as a smile as a crocodile can as she continues, like, turning this tooth over, and she cocks her head a little bit again and turns back and... Yes, I think I do. Fine, fair enough. Our guest is wounded, both physically and she taps her chest, on the inside. The shock of running into another one of his own. I worry about what it would do. He doesn't even tend to his mastodon. That's why we let it go out and forage.
Perhaps we can offer aid in form of healing for him.
She shakes her head. If it were that simple, I would have handled it myself. The ancestors have blessed me with much, and she's continuing to like toy with this little tooth, and as she does so, it like floats a couple inches out of her hand and then sets back down. I lead our coalition for a reason. And if it was a simple matter of magic, well, it would be done.
Then what kind of matter is it?
She taps her chest again. His heart is wounded. It's complicated.
You're speaking in riddles, sir, or ma'am.
He's broken. He's a broken man.
The half-elf has the right of it.
He's lost his will to fight. It's a shame.
More besides.
His will to live. To go on.
Perhaps not that far.
Persist.
More like his dominant arm.
Oh.
Certainly, if it was a matter of simply regenerating it, we would do so. Unfortunately, I lack the power. He certainly
Really? I heard lizards could just do that.
Yeah, but
I could. If I lost my tail, I could grow it back. Doesn't mean I can help a celestial human pop an arm back in place.
Oh, that's a good point.
so this he lost his sword arm. That would be a real kick in the balls for a fighter.
Not his sword arm, his... And she pantomimes drawing a bow.
Oh. Just as bad.
Indeed, I've seen him hunt. I've seen him fight. Never have I ever seen anyone hit a frost drake from that far away. She shakes her head. Now, without it, I don't think he knows what to do. All he's known is conflict since, well, and she turns towards Senia. Now he cannot fight.
Well, the Lord in Iron says there's always conflict. Whether it be on the battlefield or anywhere else. Right now he's in a conflict, if you think about it.
Indeed. I simply would not want to upset him more. In any case, I very much doubt you'd get him to leave our walls. And, again, letting
How
out...
long is...
Yes.
How long has he been staying here?
Since... that day, about... by your tracking, I would say about 6 months since we lost to the Tiger Lords.
Aha, you said their name.
Sheesh.
Well, I don't think there's that much we can do for him at this time. We would probably only make things worse. Cato looks over to Senya. I think your reunion may have to be put on hold.
So really,
Fine.
really, there's not like a morsel of food, maybe some beer or something back there. I don't know. Seems weird to just leave empty-handed. So I'm saying
They don't owe us anything, Cal.
it's not about owing. It's about being hospitable.
The half-elf is correct. It is not about owing. And we all need as many friends as we can get right now. We don't have a lot, but what we do have I would be willing to share with you.
Ah, see, look at that. That's nice. Here, you can have some of, not all, but you can have some of my kumis. Here, she hands over the wine flat, the wine bag.
It always sounds like you're talking to, when we meet like another culture, you're like you talk to them like they're children. Like, you can have a little bit of this, not too much. I think it's funny. All right.
I like Dell's Cal voice.
In any
Not
case,
too
the
much.
Uruxi woman stands up, makes her way back in. The Gato, not too much of alcohol you have, no. Very bad. Moon radishes. I don't know, that's all I got. Gate opens, she goes in. A couple minutes pass if anyone wants to do anything or have
Charge.
anything to say.
Charge the gate.
Storm the gates!
It's open. Let's go. This is our chance. They said it's forbidden for us in there. Makes me wanna all the more curious.
Are you sure you're not a cat? Is that? You have a lot of feline aspects. Has anyone ever told you that?
Ooh, shiny. What's over here? No, I just have a suicidal death wish today, apparently, because I want to do all the things that'll get me killed.
Fight this one and those and all the will-o-wisps and her and haha. And she comes. Good.
I was just gonna say, while we wait, I'm just gonna kind of console Senya and say, like, you know, it's unfortunate. Sorry to hear about your tribesman. I don't think he's just gonna. I feel like he's just gonna need time. There may come a time where we can bring you to speak with him, but I think today is not that day.
And a short time after, the Uruxi comes back dragging I guess I don't necessarily want to call it a sled, but that would be the idea, 2 wooden poles with like a stretcher. Yeah, dragging basically a stretcher, and there's a sizable elk is across it. She brings it over, turns it 90 degrees, and sets it between the pair of you. Or the pair of you, between all of you, her one half of the pair, and you, though, you get it. And she looks down at the ground, snaps her fingers, and as she does, though, a little ball of fire appears in her hand, and she just kind of touches a section of grass as she puts a bunch of stones around it and makes a quick fire.
This is mighty generous.
We need all the friends we can get. Usually, when Outlanders find us, it doesn't go nice.
I think...
Though you seem to have this looks like you have quite a defensible position here, though. You've done pretty well for yourself.
We do what we can. We're usually only here when the snows melt, and only for a little while. We've stayed here now because, in fact, it is defensible. Hopefully we can move on.
Do you expect any retaliation from... And he points out towards the west.
Perhaps. It's hard to say. We certainly wouldn't have lost to them if it was numbers alone. Every Uruxi tribe from here to... That she, names a bunch of, what you guys might know as, places on the map that she's naming as, big mountain, this river kind of place. We can handle oversized humans. There's I don't know what it was. Perhaps a full coven of hags with them. Caught us by surprise.
Hags.
A full coven of them, you say? And I'm gonna turn towards Cal.
Sorry, I'm eating.
Eating stag.
Yeah, I'm eating.
Side of moon radish.
Pulls out another moon radish. Yomp. If I had to guess, based on what my scouts have told me, they're looking for something out there. I don't know what. But certainly if they wanted to wipe us off the map, they could have done so by now.
They're preoccupied with something far more important to them.
Whatever that happens to be.
that plays to our advantage.
It at least buys us some time.
Unless they find whatever it is they're looking for.
Whatever wild goose chase they're on, I'm sure it can't be anything of any real significance. Probably some superstitious tribal nonsense.
After everything we've seen out here, you really believe that?
Or maybe they'll run themselves across some dangerous fey creature and get themselves all killed. Do the job for us.
That would be best case scenario, yes. However, with that many hags behind him, Armagh is most likely not going to make such a blunder.
I narrow my eyes at the mention and
Armagh.
mutter under my breath, Armagh.
He thinks he is Armagh. I think he is a fool. The rumor is it that this... She looks down at her hand, and there are that little, like... The tooth that she's holding has begun to shake pretty violently, and she just kind of clutches her fist. I'm sorry. The ancestors do not want to hear of this. I must speak no more. And as this conversation has been going on, she's been, like, field dressing the deer and pulling meat off and assembled a very rudimentary spit and is cooking.
Yummy. If I may ask you if I may change the subject for a moment onto maybe something a little less grim, though still carries with it some weight. Have you had any run-ins with some troll? One of our reasons for coming out here is to make this area safer for the travelers and the new residents. And these trolls have made let's say more of a nuisance of themselves, more than a nuisance, a danger. And we seek to put that to rest. But we've only come across a single troll in our days that we've spent marching through these wildernesses. So if you had any insights onto where we might find them, that would be.
I'm not sure. They are smart enough to know not to cross. Well, and she snaps her fingers again, and a little bit of fire appears in her hand. That which they are most afraid of. I assume they're out somewhere in the swamps. They don't bother us. We don't bother them. Frankly, we don't have the numbers to bother them. If truly they have... And she holds out two of her hands, her fingers outstretched, and, like, puts them together to imply, like, united. If they are one. And she kind of trails off, goes back to cooking. She kind of, like, as things get quiet, her hand shakes a little, and she's had her hand clenched on this tooth the whole time, and she lets up, and it kind of still shakes faintly. She, like, rubs the back of it with one of her fingers, and then it stops. Continues, basically just, like, she gets quiet when y'all get quiet, and she finishes making... Maybe not the entire elk, but enough to where everyone would have more than enough to eat.
Are you sure you don't want any kumis? I mean, it is made for milk. Do this is drink milk. Don't know.
She takes it and takes a swig.
Yeah, there you are.
Passing it back. Well, anybody else got anything they want to ask her?
Nom nom. Eating elk.
Okay.
So no ideas on where we can find trolls. That's disappointing.
And the Tiger Lord has witches.
Tiger Lord has a
Oh, hags.
coven of hags. That's a little frightening.
Yeah. Say the least.
Well, the meal ends and she stands up. Just, if there's anything else you need, I should go help put the pieces back together.
Cato nods and says, "It was good to meet you, and hopefully our next meeting is on under better conditions and better terms."
She nods.
Can you before the Uruxi goes, I ask her, can you tell Divicos that I will take care of his mastodon until he's ready to return and claim him?
I will let him know, but
Wait, we're gonna keep that thing?
Tree
Yeah,
Razor.
look at it, it's so cute.
Tree Razor is good at finding his way home.
This is definitively not cute.
It's the opposite.
Things are tiny, and you can pick them up, and you can hug them. No,
He's
this is not cute.
practically a lap elephant.
What? It covered you in snot. No.
Practically a laptodon.
Laptodon.
We can take
Laptodon,
care
I
of
like
his
that.
beast. My scouts go and watch it when it leaves, make sure it doesn't run afoul of, how did you say it, big scary fey creatures.
Someone just wanted to get a free mastodon. It was a good try. It was real good. It sounded very altruistic.
Yeah,
well,
she could barely ride that horse, man. She can run down to that mastodon. Don't fall off that thing. It'll be tough.
Very well. If you can take care of him, I trust that he will stay well and alive.
He'll stay alive. I trust he will not die.
Yeah. I trust you will prevent it from outright dying.
As you do.
As you do.
She nods. And as she's going to leave, it's that same bird that you saw farther north. It begins circling and it dives down to land next to y'all. And in the last 2 feet before it touches the ground, the body of the bird begins to shift, and when the wings would touch down, instead of wings, they are the forearms and hands of an Uruxi who picks himself up. I assume no one in the party speaks Uruxi.
Actually-
No, but don't we have the?
Actually,
Didn't she cast that spell on us though?
She
she
cast
could
it on
speak our
herself.
Yeah, so she could speak our language if she wants to.
Oh, she did what I do.
Yeah. She turns towards the considerably smaller, but probably taller than the rest of y'all Uruxi. They exchange a quick thing in Uruxi, and then this one's probably more of the scales are the same color as the feathers, and then kind of takes a running jump into the water, and you guys see as it's in the air, it turns from an Uruxi into more of some kind of large snake-like thing, and it just kind of, when it hits the water, instead of a splash, there's just a little as it disappears under and goes swimming.
Ooh.
My scouts inform me that you, and turns towards Cato, are responsible for running out the bandits in this region.
We may have had a hand in that. I may have, and Cato sort of flourishes his hand a little bit. Ended the one known as the Stag Lord.
Ionia rolls her eyes.
And you are presently held up with your people where they used to reside, yes?
Correct. That is where we're currently residing now.
I see. Should we have need of you, I will send one of my scouts to be in contact with you. Certainly they will be in the area. Should you need to speak to me, just, well, look for an animal that looks a little too out of place.
Very good. I do hope that our two peoples can benefit from each other's presence here, and as you know, there is strength in numbers, and I hope you think you can trust us. We can trust you.
And she nods. I believe humans prefer, and she extends a massive purple clawed hand and handshake at Cato.
Okay. Yeah, I will shake it.
It's probably real.
After a hesitation. It was massive, right? Big claw.
Yeah. And real like scaly, and if there's anything fancy on that hand, it now is probably a little like tore up a little bit and shake back. She turns to go back inside the walls, and like the last thing, she doesn't really direct it at any of you. She kind of just says it out loud under her breath, but she's got a real big diaphragm, so her voice carries. You're right, my dear. Far too small to be a leader. And I think that's where we're going to cut this one. I think
7 foot tall Aruxi. Just
Throwing
now, did I
shade.
hear that? Because
Yeah, everyone hears it. The whole squad hears it.
Might go chasing her. What?
So
Well, maybe that's not what we're going to call it. Maybe Cato's going to repost the handshake.
Yeah.
it's not so much.
Never flies off the handle. Not this guy. Nope.
Ow. Ah, yes, that is a thing.
Challenges to authority.
Certainly to dignity. You take a -2 penalty on diplomacy checks and sense motive checks involving that creature until the creature apologizes to you. So she's walking away. Everyone probably sees Cato as a little uncomfortable, shall we say.
I wish I hadn't heard that. Excuse me. Takes
Yeah.
2 steps forward.
Yes?
Do you seek to judge my capabilities by my stature? I thought we were beyond such petty things.
Oh. No, I am sorry. It was not myself, it was. And she holds out her hand. My daughter. She was quick to judge, shall we say.
Apology accepted.
The tooth in her hand shake. Not now, little one. Closes her hand, puts the tooth away. And now she goes back.
Until we meet again. All right, I got an apology.
Good
I
enough.
actually I've forgotten I had that this entire time. I'm sure there are other instances where
Yeah, probably.
I could have flavored this drawback from time to time, but
I feel
it
like
just
you
dawned-
basically have anyway.
I kind of do. I generally don't abide to that type of behavior, but this one, and I just couldn't let it go. Like I was like, do I just let that go? Do I just like brush it off like it's nothing? And then I'm like, wait, I don't think I can. Mechanically, I don't think I can.
Drawbacks are as drawbacks do.
They
But
are as what they are.
Cato's got a big old curse. The Aruxi are friends, and someone's missing an arm. It was a very important session. Maybe next week we'll go fight some will-o-wisps. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll have that.
Scared of will-o-wisps.
Yeah, you are. They're super spoopy. Maybe we'll have a tax party. Who knows? But till then, be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and we will be back next time. Say bye, y'all.
Boy.
See ya.
Later.
Bye, y'all.